It's Monday, January 26th. Today, public trust in Winnipeg police. What Mayor Scott Gillingham said amid disgraced police officer Elston Bostock's case. Not all birds flock away from Manitoba. Discovery Centre offers attendees an opportunity to learn about birds that stay in Manitoba during the winter. Ice time despite deep cold. Winnipeg Jets host Indigenous youth for annual event with a focus in positivity and mental wellness. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail is live with Volunteer Manitoba. Of course, they help to bring volunteers together to all the charities and organizations that need that extra helping hand. Well, it's the time of year where you are asked to nominate a volunteer who goes above and beyond in the community. And so she's going to be live there telling us exactly how many positions are available if you're looking to volunteer, and if you're not and you know someone who is an amazing volunteer, how to nominate them as well.
Nice.
One of the things though this weekend, I didn't leave the house. It was just too cold. I stayed inside. I cleaned my house.
Oh, nice. Yes, right.
But I didn't go outside at all.
I actually found myself having to leave the house, and it was awful. Let me tell you that. No, I shouldn't say that. Saturday wasn't too bad, especially earlier in the day. The sun was shining. It was so bright. There were a lot of folks out on the river trail. I will say that, enduring those cold temperatures. Yeah, it was pretty awful over the weekend. But here we are this morning, and we can expect that things will be warming up considerably so today. But here's the worst thing about it. While it was incredibly cold over the weekend, the winds weren't that strong, and you can already see the camera shaking with those stronger winds that we'll be experiencing throughout the day today. It's minus 24 with a south wind, 42 kilometers per hour is what it's gusting to, making it feel like minus 38. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 70%. So yeah, just the way that camera's shaking. And honestly, I think it was worse this morning just running from the cabin to our workplace here than what it was perhaps over the weekend when I was actually out, you know, kind of moving around and walking. But it's all due to these very strong winds and the fact that it really hasn't started to warm up yet, but it will. We will make some gains. We're probably also going to see some heavier clouds hanging around throughout the day today. For some places, there might even be a little bit of scattered flurry activity right into the afternoon, the possibility of those flurries persisting. But yes, the winds will be very strong throughout the day today out of the south, shifting out of the northwest overnight, but the sky begins to clear. So with those clearer conditions, we will probably notice those temperatures dropping off a little bit. Today will likely be the warmest day of the week, and then a slight cool down. But the slight cool down won't be anywhere near as bad as it was as we were rolling into the weekend. So while minus 12 is a normal daytime high, we will be slipping back into those high minus teens, but plenty of sunshine after today.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham shared his first reaction on Saturday about disgraced police officer Elston Bostock's 7-year sentence. He agreed the case can set back the public's trust in police service, but also said it can, quote, go the other way.
I think it strengthens public trust in the Winnipeg Police Service because we've got a chief and an executive right now who take this seriously. They won't tolerate it, they won't stand for it, and so, you know, this all came to light because the Winnipeg Police Service was doing basically an internal review of individual officers.
Gillingham said the police service takes this seriously, and almost all the teams in the force do their jobs with integrity and professionalism. He appreciates Police Chief Gene Bowers' statement, adding he supports Bowers' effort to root out any criminal activity in the force. Bostock was sentenced to 7 years in jail with credit for time served on Friday for charges including breach of trust, drug trafficking, and offering an indignity to human remains. Birds may flock away from Manitoba in winter, but not all of them. The Oak Hammock Marsh Wetland Discovery Centre near Stonewall hosted its Winter Birds presentation on Sunday. The session offered attendees an opportunity to learn about birds that stay in Manitoba during the winter. Dusty Malinsky is the public programs coordinator for the center. He says while most birds found in the summer do leave for south in the winter, some stay. Even better, you might even see species you wouldn't normally find in other seasons.
In your backyards and things in cities or in the country, you're going to find black-capped chickadees, blue jays, also things like redpolls that are all going to be coming around looking for that easier meal.
Attendees were also able to make their own pine cone bird feeder and take it home. Malinsky added one of the first steps in conservation and helping wildlife is to look in your own backyard. A stretch of Portage Avenue kept the city workers busy in the frigid winter weather on Saturday. In an email to CTV News, a city spokesperson said a water main broke in a stretch of Portage Avenue in St. James between Marjorie Street and Roseberry Street. It was first reported around 8 a.m. and city crews were busy fixing the break with jackhammers and a bulldozer at the scene. The westbound curb lane of the stretch was blocked for repair. According to a city spokesperson, the break was fixed around 4 p.m. the same day. It's been extremely cold for thousands in Montreal who had no power overnight Saturday and into much of Sunday. An equipment failure at a power substation caused a major outage in the west end of the city.
Right now, when I left, the temperature in my house is 7 degrees.
The day began with nearly 15,000 customers in the dark. Emergency warming shelters opened across the city, and police have been going door to door for wellness checks. Hydro-Quebec expects some customers will have to wait until today for power to be restored. At a time when the Prime Minister is calling for national unity, there are voices pushing instead for separation. CTV's Kathy Lee on that debate heating up in more than one province.
Beneath the calm of Main Street in this small Alberta town, the minds of many people who live here are anything but at rest. And in this place, those thoughts are loud enough to hear.
Alberta separating? Yeah. 100%.
Jeff Olson, a business owner in Innisfail, says he's frustrated with Ottawa's treatment of Alberta.
The job of the West is to keep the East prosperous. They've made that very, very clear.
While some polls point to the majority of Albertans not wanting to break from Canada, noise surrounding separatism across the province louder in recent weeks, as the group Stay Free Alberta circulates a petition for a referendum question on whether the province should leave Canada to be an independent state.
An independent Alberta will be able to function with zero income tax, right? Zero carbon tax, zero capital gains tax.
Several First Nations groups, though, already launching legal action to stop the petition from moving forward. But in a province hundreds of kilometers away, the idea of separation is back in play. At a key party convention this weekend, the Parti Québécois rallying supporters around the prospect of Quebec independence, as the party leads in some polls ahead of an election in October. This as the Prime Minister called for national unity last week following the World Economic Forum.
There are literally billions of people who aspire to what we have built. An economy that delivers broadly shared prosperity.
But at least in Alberta, the sentiment doesn't align with some.
I think a referendum would push more of an actual honest discussion about sovereignty and like what Alberta is able to do with what we have.
It's certainly important for people to be able to make up their mind what they want to do going forward for Canada.
The group Stay Free Alberta needs to collect just under 178,000 signatures by May 2nd. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Innisfail, Alberta.
A planned sports and rec facility near Portage la Prairie is getting a big financial bump from the province. The Manitoba government is chipping in $5 million for the multi-sport indoor field house. It's being built in Southport, just south of Portage la Prairie. Plans include an indoor turf system and modular flooring, allowing for year-round access to a wide range of sports. The city and RM of Portage la Prairie are partnering with Southport Aerospace Centre on the rec facility. A timeline for the project hasn't yet been announced. The Winnipeg Jets powered through the deep freeze for the 8th annual Winnipeg Aboriginal Sport Achievement Centre weekend. The Jets hosted 30 Indigenous youth from northern and remote communities at Camp Manitou in Headingley on Saturday. They participated in some pucks and sticks ice time, cooking and nutrition education sessions, and a mental wellness session with Project 11. The Jets alumni and friends like Trevor Kidd, Derek Meach, and Gerard McDonald joined the event to share some smiles with the kids. The center's executive director, Trevor Laforte, says he hopes the youth can get some positivity from the experiences.
Everything we try to do with WASEC is what I say is the 3 Ps, provide positive programming. And whether that's cultural, educational, sport, recreational, what we're trying to do is build youth leadership. So giving them access to a bunch of events and experiences that they might not otherwise have had is just beneficial to all.
NHL alumnus Trevor Kidd says the participants were at different levels of hockey skills, but at the end of the day, it was a fun time for him, while it was indeed very cold. Kidd said everyone was excited to be there. I bet. Here's a look now at what's going on in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are moving well to start off this Monday morning. Let your vehicle warm up before you head out because it's a cold start. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live with Volunteer Manitoba this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and this is International Year of the Volunteer. Volunteer Awards coming up on April 30th, which feels a ways away, but now is the time to nominate those folks in our community who you think have gone above and beyond to volunteer. Now, volunteerism here at Volunteer Manitoba, they're really pushing it as a national action strategy, and a lot of people trying to find their thing, and that is actually the theme. So coming out throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting about that strategy. We're going to learn about some of the opportunities available, including some at Roblin Park. We're going to talk with a previous award winner from Ride for Dad that has done such incredible things in our community and is volunteer run. Stay with us for those chats.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a windy start to the day. It's cool.
Yes, it's windy, you're right. And I mean, that wind has a bite this morning. Our temperatures will eventually take us out of the deep freeze, but we're definitely not there yet. And until we are, this isn't pleasant. These winds right now, they're 39 kilometers per hour. That is a sustained wind out of the south, so I'm finding myself with no shelter from those winds. That minus 23, our actual temperature as a result of the winds, feels like minus 38. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 73%. So yeah, it's cold. Even if you look at wherever your weather source may be, your phone, whatnot, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be nice today, minus 14 is the high. Sure, we might get there, but we're not there yet. And even once we do get there, the winds are going to be a persistent nuisance throughout the day today, at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. So a little bit warmer, sure, definitely windier. Nowhere near as sunny as it was over the weekend. We'll have some heavier clouds. There's a little bit of, it's not quite snow, it's just kind of the ice crystal. I guess it's very fine snow. Anyway, a little bit of flurry activity is possible for us today. And then even after today, the temperatures will still drop off another few degrees. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. Winnipeg City officials announced a new structure for some toboggan racing with your loved ones at Roblin Park. That's Councillor Evan Duncan for Westwood riding down the single-lane toboggan slide on Saturday. During the Winter Carnival at Roblin Park Community Centre, Mayor Scott Gillingham and Duncan jointly announced $100,000 spending to upgrade the slide from 1 lane to 2. It's a split bill between Duncan and Gillingham, $50,000 from Duncan's ward allowance and the same amount from the mayor's office. No timeline was given, but Gillingham said the city is moving into detailed design work, hoping to have it built and open soon. More medical resources are on the way to Manitoba. The province says it's recruited 13 U.S. trained physicians.
To paraphrase what it says at the Statue of Liberty, give us your poor, give us your weary, give us your Americans yearning to be free. At this time in the world, everyone sees what's going on in the United States, and we're very proud here in Manitoba to accept people as they are.
Health Minister Uzama Azaguera says the 13 physicians are in addition to 285 doctors the NDP says it's added since taking office. Azaguera added there are dozens of other doctors in the recruitment process. One of the new American hires moved to Winnipeg last summer from Michigan and is already working at Clinic Community Health on Sherbrooke Street.
I moved in large part because I saw the increasing government interference in care. And I do community health, so I focus on underserved populations, and that includes LGBTQ+ populations. So I saw sort of the writing on the wall that was going to become more and more difficult to provide quality care to those patients. And I am really passionate about being able to provide care to the people who need it most.
Dr. Jesse Krikorian says his decision to work in Canada is based on a healthcare system prioritizing need rather than what someone can afford. The province says it's continuing its international recruitment efforts through licensing, immigration, and community placement. In an interview Sunday on CTV's Question Period, Manitoba Premier said Canadians should buckle up in response to recent tariff threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. This comes ahead of a First Minister's meeting on Wednesday in Ottawa, where Canoe is set to meet Ontario Premier Doug Ford.
Premier Ford and I, we're going to have our back and forth about canola and EVs. We're going to have our back and forth about Crown Royal. But at the end of the day, neither one of us is ever going to doubt the other's patriotism. We're never going to doubt another premier's commitment to this country. And on that level, we're going to work together. So yeah, we're going to have tough conversations, interesting conversations from time to time. But I think there is no debate around the Premier's table and the First Minister's table that every single one of us is a proud Canadian and is going to do what it takes to ensure that our country's freedom and that the people in this country can put food on the table for generations to come.
Last summer, Premier Ford said he would remove Crown Royal from all provincial liquor stores. The move would have financial and employment repercussions in other provinces such as Manitoba, where the world-famous whiskey is distilled and aged. Homeowners, check your mailboxes. 2027 property assessment values for Winnipeg have been issued. The city says the assessment reflects market conditions as of April 1st, 2025. The first 216,500 assessments are being mailed out now, with the rest to follow in the spring. The assessed values will be reflected in the 2027 tax year. However, the city notes an increase in your property's value does not mean an equivalent increase in your property taxes. Your 2027 property taxes depend on the average increase of all properties in Winnipeg. Appointments to discuss your assessments are available until April the 10th. The University of Manitoba is taking a major step forward in the fields of vaccine development and biomanufacturing. It's announced the creation of 2 new research facilities. The first at the Fort Garry campus is the Prairie Biologics Accelerator. It's built as a 5-story, 21,000 square foot biosecure facility aimed at speeding up the development of vaccines and therapeutics. The other is the One Health Emerging Respiratory Disease Center at its Bannatyne campus. It will also host a secure laboratory with specialized testing facilities for studying the effects of viruses on animals.
You know, there's an old saying, right? If you build it, they will come. It's absolutely true, because people are enticed by modern facilities and by state-of-the-art facilities. So that's number one. But more important than that, this will allow us to invest in the next generation of scientists and turn kids on to science and build the workforce of the future.
VP of Research and International, Mario Pinto, expects the Fort Garry facility to be up and running within 2 years, while the small facility at the Bannatyne campus should be ready within a year. Crowds gathered in northern Germany this weekend to watch a rare phenomenon, large chunks of ice making their way down the river. This was the scene on the Elbe River, about 35 kilometers outside Hamburg. The ice floes they're actually checking out floated downstream after they were broken into smaller pieces to clear up the clogged waterway. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the northbound curb lane and middle lanes on St. James Bridge will be closed for construction. To access eastbound Portage, you will have to use Ness Avenue. And on St. Mary's Road, the northbound median and curb lane will be closed for sewer work from Craddock to Fermor. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400.
Taking a look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Again, just seeing that camera shaking a little bit and knowing what it feels like outside. I can promise you it does not feel pleasant, even though today will likely be a drastic warm-up from where we were over the weekend and perhaps the warmest day that we'll experience through most of this week. That being said, yes, that wind chill especially has a bite. Our actual temperatures are still slightly below seasonal, but not by much. But minus 22 now would be that normal low, and Winnipeg is coming in at minus 23. Now, there are many places that are above seasonal temperatures to kick off your morning. High minus teens, mid minus teens. Dauphin, one of the warmer spots across the south this morning, starting out at minus 15. Much of northern Manitoba pushing up just into those low minus 20s. So again, not cold compared to what you would expect for this time of year, but it is breezy, and that wind has a definite bite this morning. So wind chill value right now in Winnipeg feeling like minus 38. It looks like we're wearing the worst of it. Across that border, it's feeling like minus 40 right now in Kenora. High minus 20s, low minus 30s across much of northern Manitoba with the winds. Here you can see we've got some heavier clouds. There's even a little bit those grayish colors there, or the light precipitation passing through, and we might see some flurries off and on through the day. We're not likely to see much in the way of sunshine, and that'll be a big change up from the weekend because I know it was incredibly cold, but it was bright and sunny, and that won't be the case for us today with these heavier clouds expected to last. Climbing to a high of about -14. I mentioned today will be one of the warmer days of the week. -12, a normal daytime high. So this is the closest that we're likely to get to those seasonal values. After today, the sky will clear, clouds moving on out overnight. Sunnier conditions, but it's still going to drop off. Not as cold as it's been, but well below seasonal. Until the weekend, we've got some milder weather, maybe even some minus single digits. Little Brew bundled up, though, to bear the weather over the weekend. Looking adorable out here in Elmwood. Thanks to Candace for the photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break. We'll see you soon on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Hey ho, snap a pic for your chance to win with our Best in Fest contest. Festival du Voyageur returns February 13th to the 22nd, and we want to see how you're gearing up, whether it's snowshoeing, beard growing, or building a snow fort. Whatever it is, we want to see it. Upload your photo to our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, or post it to social media using the hashtag BestInFestContest. Weekly winners will be selected to win a 4-pack of passes to Festival du Voyageur. When young kids are asked what they want to be when they grow up, you'll hear a lot say they want to be a firefighter. As adults, we admire their dedication to keeping us safe. And as CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows you, one man with a lifelong admiration of firefighters ended up with the firefighters being the ones admiring him.
Watching firefighters in the movies may be great, Richard McNaughton says, but nothing beats seeing a fire engine in real life.
Sirens and the flashing lights.
That's so good. Richard, who lives with a rare genetic disorder, loved firefighters so much when he was younger. His sister, Marcia, says whenever her back was turned, he'd call 911.
And they would arrive and he'd be hanging out the window. Hi, guys. How are you?
Although Richard was repeatedly told all the reasons why he shouldn't do that, he couldn't stop.
And it came to one of those situations, if you can't beat them, join them.
So the team at the time, including now retired Chief Dan Copeland, invited Richard to visit their hall to show him the seriousness of their responsibility.
Right away, just grabbed the hearts of the firefighters and the department.
When Richard first got to put on the oxygen tank and mask, he ran around the hall going, "Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters!"
He earned the nickname Winston after one of the movie's characters and never called 911 again. But what impressed the firefighters most was not Winston's passion for their profession, but his constant question, consistent with all first responders: how can I help?
He wanted to be a part of the crew and didn't really know any different than, like, let's get at this.
And after excelling at volunteering around the hall and being an ambassador at public events, Winston was officially named an honorary firefighter and given his own uniform.
I was shocked and amazing.
Whether Winston's wearing his uniform or not, Marcia says her brother carries around a first aid kit and is always set to serve.
Is the first one to run and help if somebody falls.
And the first one to call, Dan recalls, if something seemed off.
He would say, "Danny, they didn't have their siren going. They had the lights on, but they didn't have the siren going." And I said, "Thanks for the tip, Winston. We'll deal with that." And
Richard was recently honored for 20 years of voluntary service with the department.
It's amazing. Man, I appreciate all that they've done for me.
But the firefighters say they appreciate all Winston's done for them even more.
Said he's a natural. Yeah, he's crushing it today.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Delta.
Here's a look at what's happening outside now. You can see that wind is blowing that camera around. It's a cool start to the day. Stay with us for more details.
Don't be fooled with the idea that it's going to be warming up today. While that might be true according to the temperature, you can see the winds whipping around out there. A south wind 39 kilometers per hour, making -23 right now, feel like -38. The pressure falling, humidity sitting at 73%. And yes, today the winds will definitely be the worst of it all. While it's true our temperatures will be taking us out of the deep freeze, the winds on top of it all won't be providing much relief. In fact, it might have been easier to dress and get outside to enjoy some of the weekend weather. As cold as it was, at least the sun was shining and the winds were on the lighter side. Today, we're not expecting to see much in the way of sunshine. You can see the heavier clouds, and there might even be some scattered snow. And then, of course, the winds on top of it all will be out of the south and at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. But minus 14 is where we're headed with the temperatures. So yes, that's where we're seeing some improvements. It's just the lack of warmth because of those winds. Wind chill values will certainly have a very nasty bite to them today. And then dropping down to minus 21, still with those winds. They'll shift overnight out of the northwest, but at times still gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. The clouds, however, will begin to clear out overnight, and that will set us up for a little more sunshine for tomorrow and some slightly lighter winds. Tomorrow, we really will actually start to feel some improvements, I think. It'll be brighter. It'll be not as warm as today, but it probably will feel warmer because of the lack of winds. And at minus 17 in the sunshine, that's a day that you can dress for. And it even gets better throughout the rest of this week. Sure, we're going to stay steady in those mid to high minus teens through the week, but for the weekend, minus 10 on Saturday could come with some precipitation, minus single digits. We haven't seen that for a while, and that's how we'll be wrapping things up on Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. After some massive snowstorms in eastern Canada and in the northeast U.S., it's shaping up to be a brutal travel day, especially if your flight is connecting through Toronto's Pearson Airport.
Flights are getting cancelled, flights are getting delayed, so I had a little bit idea that it is going to be delayed.
Well, I came in at 7 a.m. waiting for my flight. I look at that board and it said it cancelled or delayed.
At Pearson, the Flight Information Board turned into more of a cancellation board yesterday. More than half of the flights at Pearson and at downtown Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport were cancelled. And this morning in Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, it's a similar story. Many flights are still cancelled as crews work to clear snow from runways. A major snow and ice storm in the U.S. is also causing delays. If you're traveling, check your flight status before heading out. A planned sports and rec facility near Portage la Prairie is getting a big financial bump from the province. The Manitoba government is chipping in $5 million for the multi-sport indoor field house. It's being built in Southport, just south of Portage la Prairie. Plans include an indoor turf system and modular flooring, allowing for year-round access to a wide range of sports. The city and RM of Portage la Prairie are partnering with Southport Aerospace Centre on the rec facility. A timeline for the project hasn't yet been announced. A downtown eatery says limited access to the city's skywalk system is hurting business.
You know, we've been here for 15 years, so it's something that our guests have come to expect. It's part of, you know, the draw to come to Rudy's, not only to have a great meal and excellent service, but to also have that opportunity to not traverse in minus 40, even if it's a couple blocks. It's really cold out there.
Rudy's Eat and Drink has called the Manitoba Hydro building home for more than a decade, but General Manager Mackenzie Robb says Hydro started locking a security gate between Rudy's entrance and the Hydro Gallery at 6 each night. It means restaurant customers can no longer use the skywalk to get to the arena or other downtown buildings. And Robb says no one from Hydro has explained why.
I've done everything that I can on my end to ask for extensions, even just on event days, just a little bit of wiggle room to work with, and it's not being met with any positive reception.
A Hydro spokesperson tells CTV News hours of public access to Manitoba Hydro Place were shortened following incidents of, quote, potentially dangerous or threatening behavior in the area. They say the change was made to ensure the safety of employees and the public. The spokesperson says they're working with police to enhance safety, and Hydro will share the changes with its tenants. Donald Trump's latest tirades and threats against Canada will loom over Parliament Hill as MPs return for a new session. And the stakes are high for everyone this round. CTV's Rachel Aiello with what's on the line.
Prime Minister, have you spoken to Donald Trump since he...
Prime Minister Mark Carney was back on the Hill, preparing for the return of Parliament, under pressure over U.S. President Donald Trump's latest threats. The Americans now say a 100% tariff would only be levied if Canada's dealings with China deepen.
If they go further, if we see that the Canadians are allowing the Chinese to dump goods.
But that's not the government's plan.
We have commitments under CUSMA that not to pursue free trade agreements with non-market economies without prior notification. We have no intention of doing that with China or any other non-market economy.
Carney's assurance didn't deter Trump, who kept up his attacks on Truth Social, saying in one post that Canada is systematically destroying itself and that the China deal is a disaster. So sad to see it happen, the president said in another. Monday marks the start of a new sitting.
There we are. Hey.
And MPs are being advised not to let Trump's trade tirades sidetrack efforts to address affordability.
Don't get distracted. We just keep focused on what we're doing.
Heading back into the House of Commons 2 seats shy of a majority, the Liberals will need help to pass key pieces of legislation to tackle crime and boost economic growth.
We're going to continue working on those agendas, and obviously we want to attract the support of people who represent conservative ridings.
Under political pressure of his own, with a leadership vote looming, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has offered to help fast-track certain agenda items that align with his party's priorities.
The Prime Minister of this country and Pierre Poilievre, who aspires to be the Prime Minister of this country, needs to focus on the things that Canadians care about.
Speaking briefly to reporters, Carney said he's hoping for cooperation, both from the other parties in Parliament as well as the premiers, who he's set to sit down with in Ottawa later this week.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now along the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving well to start off this morning. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.28. The provincial average is at $1.17. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly lower at $1.16. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.07. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Coming up, Ainsley McPhail is live at Volunteer Manitoba. They do amazing things coordinating volunteers, but they're also hoping to celebrate them. Stay with us for more.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, how you dress for the kind of weather that we're experiencing makes all the difference. And here's what I'm going to share with you. I was out here about 20 minutes ago, and it felt awful. I had come into work, I had changed my shoes for my indoor shoes that I was wearing, and I forgot to change them back when I came outside. And the cold was transferring through my indoor shoes, just right through my body, and it really felt terrible. I won't do that again. You don't make the same mistake twice. I've got my winter boots on right now, and honestly, it feels better already. So again, proper footwear might be one of the first things, and then a windproof layer because these winds today are nasty. They're out of the south, 39 kilometers per hour, making minus 23, a very normal temperature for this time of year. Feel like minus 38. That doesn't feel pleasant. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 73%. Also falling out here, there's a little bit of light snow, and then yes, some very strong winds, and those winds will remain strong throughout the day today. It'll be a south wind that then in the overnight hours shifts out of the north, remaining pretty strong even overnight. Today though, those temperatures are expected to rise. It'll be one of the warmest days that we'll experience this week, getting close to seasonal, into those mid-minus teens today, but then into the high minus teens for the rest of the week. However, the heavier clouds today will clear. We'll see more sunshine after today. Heading on over to where Ainsley is this morning, seeing what she's up to. Hey, Ainsley, what's going on?
Good morning. We're talking about volunteerism, and you guys can nominate some of your favorite people doing great things in the community. We're at Volunteer Manitoba. Ashley Seymour joins us now. She's the executive director. People got to get those nominations in by the 30th. Tell us about these 42nd awards.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're really excited to be accepting nominations right now for the annual Volunteer Awards. And so there are a variety of categories that recognize and celebrate some of the most amazing volunteers that we have here in Manitoba. So there's categories for youth awards, for example. We have individual and group categories as well. We also have the CTV Champion of Mental Health, for example. So there's a variety of categories that certainly there's something that suits everyone.
Mm-hmm. And why is it so important that we do this? There's such phenomenal people helping in various ways throughout our community.
And that's just it. Those people deserve to be recognized, and that's why we do this. We need to celebrate the people that give their time and their talent and their energy to supporting the well-being of our communities across Manitoba, and we want to celebrate those people for what they've done to give back.
Mm-hmm. And we want more people to do it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of reasons that people have halted that since the pandemic. Tell us about why you're encouraging people to, and what are the incentives?
There are so many benefits and incentives to volunteering. It really depends on sort of what stage of life you're at. So maybe you're learning or looking to gain some experience that will help you in your career, or maybe you're an older adult who's recently retired and just wants to stay active and engaged in their community. At Volunteer Manitoba, we say that there's a volunteer opportunity out there for everyone.
And you were telling me recently you did a fun one. It's all about fun for me too, and I love football too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of fun. So I had the pleasure of volunteering with the Grey Cup Festival this last year and had the best time. So there's certainly, you know, a lot of fun volunteer opportunities as well.
Awesome. Nominate your favorite person. We'll have a link on our website. Stay with us. Don't you go anywhere.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 30 points lower. The Nasdaq lost 76 points. The S&P index dipped 11. The Canadian dollar increased to 73.8 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng had small gains, and the Nikkei dropped 961 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. One city councillor wants the city to sever its ties to a U.S. organization and stop reimbursing some travel expenses south of the border. Transcona councillor Russ Wyatt has put forward a motion which would end the city's membership with an American free trade organization. Wyatt says it costs the city $30,000 a year in membership fees and travel expenses. He also wants the city to stop compensating any travel related to the Red River Basin Commission. Wyatt's motion says the city should align itself with the Canadian public at large, which has significantly slowed down travel and spending in the U.S. The motion was seconded by Councillor John Orlico and will be debated at this week's council meeting. The Louis School Division is asking for feedback as it lays out its 2026-27 operating budget. The school division says its preliminary $281 million budget adds no additional staff, but additional funding is needed. It says provincial support, property taxes, and other revenue have not kept pace with inflation. The division says if the province doesn't increase funding at all, school taxes would have to go up by 11.5% to keep all existing staff and services. To help balance the budget, the division is putting forward a handful of reductions and deferrals in areas such as technology investments and maintenance of school buildings. You can find more information and fill out a survey by visiting lrsd.net/budget. Government officials in Australia have ordered the cull of a pack of dingoes in response to the death of a Canadian woman on a coastal beach. A coroner's report suggests the 19-year-old BC woman drowned, but her body exhibited bite marks from before and after her death, citing aggressive behavior. Queensland officials say the wild dogs are an unacceptable public safety risk and they will be euthanized humanely. South Korean officials are coming to Canada this week hoping to win a submarine project believed to be worth billions of dollars. South Korea is competing with Germany in a race to win the Canadian project. It's for a new fleet of submarines estimated by industry sources to be worth more than $12 billion. The South Korean presidential chief of staff will be arriving in Canada with executives from Hyundai and shipbuilders. The submarine project would be one of the biggest defense procurement projects currently underway and could create 20,000 jobs in South Korea. With temperatures feeling like -40 with the wind chill, you could understand if people didn't want to leave their homes. But hundreds did just that on Friday to honor the memory of Murray Sinclair. This is the first Murray Sinclair Memorial Round Dance, although it isn't the first time a round dance was held at this time of year. But organizers decided to rename the annual festival to honor the senator and former chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. His daughter says a round dance is an opportunity to remember loved ones and to invite them to be with you.
So this is our opportunity to dance with him, for the whole community to celebrate with him. And we do this after he's been gone for more than a year. So it's a good time with his birthday this weekend. He'd be ready to celebrate, and he's probably here enjoying himself tonight.
In addition to singing and dancing, the event also featured a pipe ceremony, a community feast, and a marketplace. Diverse voices are being amplified at this radio station.
All right, guys, come with me.
8CCC in Australia has shows on everything from rock music to anime. The station is part of a program offering accessible training in radio broadcasting. Its goal is to give all voices a chance to be represented in the media. There are now 5 shows at the station hosted by broadcasters with disabilities. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the morning and afternoon rush hours, the northbound curb and middle lanes on St. James Bridge will be closed for street construction, and so to access eastbound Portage, you will have to use Ness Avenue. And on St. Mary's Road, the northbound median and curb lane will be closed for sewer work from Craddock to Fermor. If you have any other traffic tips, please send them to us in a text.
I look outside at the way that camera is shaking. That almost, you can feel the cold through the screen, can't you? So minus 23 is where the actual temperature sits. It's those winds out of the south gusting to 30, or just a steady sustained wind at 39 kilometers per hour, making it feel like minus 38. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at minus 73. Honestly, I would have rather deal with the minus 40 wind chills that we had over the weekend and no wind with the sunshine than what we're going to experience today. Now, everyone's a little bit different. Some people will just be so grateful that that temperature itself is starting to budge. And sure, we will see warmer temperatures across the province. We're also going to see some heavier clouds and maybe a little bit of scattered precipitation as well. That possibility of some light flurries in some places, like right up into the Thompson area, or the wind icon. That's what you're seeing there in Churchill. Minus 21 the expected high, or high minus teens through the rest of the northeast. High minus teens, low minus 20s. That's how northwestern Manitoba will be as well. Again, though, the possibility of some scattered precipitation to be showing up in flurry form, of course. Maybe a few more breaks in those clouds, brief moments of sunshine here throughout the southwest. Winds, that's the icon there in the Brandon area. Mid to high minus teens, mid minus teens here in the southeast. Heavier clouds are expected, and that possibility of some light precipitation. Really not amounting to too much, but it could reduce the visibility, especially the ways it whips around in some of those outlying areas. And high minus teens all expected throughout northwestern Ontario as well. We'll get up to about minus 14 today. It'll be the warmest day of the week, dropping off a little bit from here, not quite down to the extremes, but a little bit below seasonal. However, the conditions may improve as we'll be seeing more sunshine throughout the week, and then some warmer temperatures looking ahead to the weekend. That could come with some flurries on Saturday and minus single digits by Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. We are here this morning to celebrate some of the wins or positives with this well into the minus 40s wind chill we've been experiencing.
Okay.
Number one, this past weekend, there were multiple, outdoor hockey tournaments that were not canceled. They went ahead as planned. Ooh. That's old school. That's hardcore. Shout out. Mm-hmm. Also, this past weekend, we got to, a lot of us, experience, like, there are very few things that boost your self-esteem more than successfully boosting a car.
Feels good.
My gosh.
It feels
so amazing. You feel like an absolute hero, legend. So many positives and wins. Also, the phenomenon, Chrissy Troy, of the process of warming up.
Right? When you come inside and your cheeks are all cold and maybe your fingertips are a little cold, and that it's that beautiful feeling of just that slow release of warming up again, right? Like you really appreciate where you've come from and where you are now.
That's right.
Getting warm.
That's right. Now, those of us that were here, we stuck it out. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Here's another win. Like, if you skipped out on this whole minus 40 thing and you were in Dominican Republic or Mexico, okay? That's great. Except chances are pretty good that you were coming back so burnt that you couldn't even do it. Well, it's true.
I was at a family dinner last night, and 80% of the people there had tans. They had just gotten back. In minus 40, that tan looks ridiculous, family.
That's his own family. Imagine if he didn't know you.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for these reminders on why we need to keep a positive attitude. Thank you so much. Well, after a year marked by uncertainty for farmers across Canada, new trade deals are offering a cautious sense of optimism heading into the 2026 season. CTV's Alex Karpa spoke with farmers about their hopes and expectations for the year ahead.
Agriculture is an industry with a lot of unpredictability, and in the 2025 season, Canadian farmers battled challenging weather conditions and faced added pressure from punishing tariffs. Scott Perkin farms a mix of crops in southwestern Manitoba, with canola making up about 30% of his rotation.
The tariffs that were in place and some of the geopolitical things that were happening certainly made it a little bit uneasy growing canola.
He closely followed Prime Minister Mark Carney's recent visit to China, which led to a deal reducing tariffs on canola seed and removing tariffs on canola meal.
It's a huge step forward, but it's a small step. We need to see all canola tariffs removed, including canola oil tariffs.
The agreement kicks in March 1st, but is only in place until the end of the year. Canada's Agriculture Minister recently said the government's stance on Chinese steel may have prevented a longer-term deal. A conversation that was top of mind for some farmers at the Ag Days Festival in Brandon, Manitoba.
We've diversified into other crops, things like peas and soybeans to replace some of those canola acres. Hopefully the politicians can all work together and we can see some of these tariffs get lifted long term.
And it's not just trade negotiations with China that farmers are paying attention to.
I think I'd definitely like to see some certainty on the trade talks between the U.S. and Canada and Mexico coming up, because obviously the agreement's going to open up again here soon.
Those that I spoke to say they want to see stability heading into this year's farming season, as trade disputes and tariffs in 2025 made it very challenging on many in the agriculture industry. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Brandon, Manitoba.
Even if you're not enjoying this cold weather, you have to enjoy this. The Toronto Zoo sharing a video of their Amur tiger, Maisie, out in the snow. When she ventured out, there was even a surprise waiting, a snowman for her to check out. And as a bonus, its nose seems to have been made out of some sort of tiger treat. All right, here's a look outside now on McPhillip Street. Looks like things are starting to pick up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well. We'll be right back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Monday, January 26th. Today, trust tested. Mayor Gillingham addresses the fallout from a former officer's prison sentence and confidence in city policing. Plus, doctors recruited. Manitoba adds more U.S.-trained physicians as international hiring efforts continue. And Frozen Smiles, how Jets players turn a cold weekend into something memorable for Indigenous youth. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At about 7:52, for families struggling to conceive a baby, the cost of getting fertility and IVF and all of that can be really quite expensive. So there is a grant, a fertility grant, that allows families to get a little bit of money to sort of soften the blow on that. Well, that grant has just been expanded, so more families can now access that funding. So we're going to tell you more about that and how you can support the cause, because it's really important for many families. But that cold today, it's warmer. You wouldn't be able to tell it's warmer.
It's warmer. Yeah, no, it does not feel warmer, and it's all due to the winds. They're nasty out there this morning, and they're going to stay that way throughout the day today. At this moment, it is a sustained wind, 39 kilometers per hour, making minus 23, which is very close to a seasonal temperature, feel a lot more like minus 38. There's some light snow, but maybe more some blowing snow, especially in those outlying areas. Pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 73%. I think of a lot of us were really looking forward to today, the day that we would kind of climb out of the deep freeze. But I'm telling you, as somebody who did manage to bundle up and brave it a bit over the weekend and step outside, I think I would rather those conditions than what we're waking up to this morning. And it's all because those winds are so nasty at this time. There's also some heavier clouds. We had the sun shining at least over the weekend. And with the clouds, there's even a little bit of scattered flurry activity that you could see. And that'll be the case pretty much across the province. Most of us will have those heavier clouds lingering. There might be some parts that see a little more sunshine, but overall, pretty cloudy for today. It will, however, clear out overnight, and that will set us up for a lot more sunshine after today. So tomorrow through the rest of the week, sunnier conditions. Temperatures just a little bit colder. Today will actually be the warmest day of the week, but the windiest day of the week, and therefore maybe not so pleasant. Those winds will add that bite throughout the cloudy day today, but then after this, it clears out. Now, here's some really good news. The weekend, sure, we might see some snow, but warming up considerably so, getting above seasonal, maybe even some minus single digits. And honestly, after this deep freeze, it feels like ages since we've talked about that. And our art today is all thanks to 7-year-old Charlotte, this pretty little bluebird. Thank you for sharing this with us, and keep the art coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg police have issued a silver alert requesting the public's help to find a missing 91-year-old woman. Police say Anna Polgar was last seen in the 400 block of Taché Avenue at about 9:45 a.m. on Saturday, January 24th. Polgar is 5 feet tall with medium build and gray hair. She was last seen wearing a white long sleeve shorts, a black jacket with black pants and dark gray shoes. The Winnipeg Police Service activates a silver alert when a vulnerable adult person is reported as missing. If you have information on the whereabouts of Anna Polgar, please contact the Winnipeg Police Service's Missing Persons Unit at 204-986-6250. Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham shared his first reaction on Saturday about disgraced police officer Elston Bostock's 7-year sentence. He agreed the case can set back the public's trust in police service, but also said it can, quote, go the other way.
I think it strengthens public trust in the Winnipeg Police Service because we've got a chief and an executive right now who take this seriously. They won't tolerate it, they won't stand for it, and so, you know, this all came to light because the Winnipeg Police Service was doing basically an internal review of individual officers.
Gillingham said the police service takes this seriously, and almost all of the teams in the force do their jobs with integrity and professionalism. He appreciates Police Chief Gene Bowers' statement, adding he supports Bowers' effort to root out any criminal activity in the force. Bostock was sentenced 7 years in jail with credit for time served on Friday for charges including breach of trust, drug trafficking, and offering an indignity to human remains. A stretch of Portage Avenue kept the city workers busy in the frigid winter weather on Saturday. In an email to CTV News, a city spokesperson said a water main broke in a stretch of Portage Avenue in St. James between Marjorie Street and Roseberry Street. It was first reported around 8 a.m. and city crews were busy fixing the break with jackhammers and a bulldozer at the scene. The westbound curb lane of the stretch was blocked for repair. According to a city spokesperson, the break was fixed around 4 p.m. the same day. At a time when the Prime Minister is calling for national unity, there are voices pushing instead for separation. CTV's Kathy Lee on that debate heating up in more than one province.
Beneath the calm of Main Street in this small Alberta town, the minds of many people who live here are anything but at rest. And in this place, those thoughts are loud enough to hear.
Alberta separating? Yeah. 100%.
Jeff Olson, a business owner in Innisfail, says he's frustrated with Ottawa's treatment of Alberta.
The job of the West is to keep the East prosperous. They've made that very, very clear.
While some polls point to the majority of Albertans not wanting to break from Canada, noise surrounding separatism across the province louder in recent weeks, as the group Stay Free Alberta circulates a petition for a referendum question on whether the province should leave Canada to be an independent state.
An independent Alberta will be able to function with zero income tax, right? Zero carbon tax, zero capital gains tax.
Several First Nations groups, though, already launching legal action to stop the petition from moving forward. But in a province hundreds of kilometers away, the idea of separation is back in play. At a key party convention this weekend, the Parti Québécois rallying supporters around the prospect of Quebec independence, as the party leads in some polls ahead of an election in October. This as the Prime Minister called for national unity last week following the World Economic Forum.
There are literally billions of people who aspire to what we have built. An economy that delivers broadly shared prosperity.
But at least in Alberta, the sentiment doesn't align with some.
I think a referendum would push more of an actual honest discussion about sovereignty and like what Alberta is able to do with what we have.
It's certainly important for people to be able to make up their mind what they want to do going forward for Canada.
The group Stay Free Alberta needs to collect just under 178,000 signatures by May 2nd. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Innisfail, Alberta.
The Winnipeg Jets powered through the deep freeze for the 8th annual Winnipeg Aboriginal Sport Achievement Centre weekend. The Jets hosted 30 Indigenous youth from northern and remote communities at Camp Manitou in Headingley on Saturday. They participated in some pucks and sticks ice time, cooking and nutrition education sessions, and a mental wellness session with Project 11. The Jets alumni and friends like Trevor Kidd, Derek Meach, and Gerard McDonald joined the event to share some smiles with the kids. The center's executive director, Trevor Lafort, says he hopes the youth can get some positivity from the experiences.
Everything we try to do with WASEC is what I say is the 3 Ps, provide positive programming. And whether that's cultural, educational, sport, recreational, what we're trying to do is build youth leadership. So giving them access to a bunch of events and experiences that they might not otherwise have had is just beneficial to all.
NHL alumnus Trevor Kidd says the participants were at different levels of hockey skills, but at the end of the day, it was a fun time for him. While it was indeed very cold, Kidd said everyone was excited to be there. Here's a look at what's happening now at Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well over here. It is breezy out there, though, so keep that in mind as you head out this morning. There is some blowing snow on the outskirts of the city, but not a lot, just a little bit.
The European Commission has launched a formal investigation into Grok, X's chatbot, after the image editing function of its built-in AI tool was widely used to virtually undress pictures of real women and underage girls without their consent. If X is found to have breached the EU online platform rules under the Bloc's Digital Services Act, the Commission could fine the company up to 6% of its global annual turnover. In the middle of an ugly trade dispute, Canada is buying more military equipment from the U.S. It's adding to a 2023 deal that was worth about $430 million worth of munitions and systems for the MQ-9B unmanned aerial vehicles. The $213 million in new equipment includes radar, electronic warfare systems, and inert bombs and training missiles. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhil's with Volunteer Manitoba this morning. Manitoba is known for the help that we get. The volunteers are incredible in this province, and now we get to celebrate them. Good morning, Ainsley.
Yes, that's happening on April 30th. The deadline is January 30th to get those in for your favorite volunteers. Now, thousands of people in this province are volunteering, whether they know it or not, right? You at home might be thinking, I'm not a volunteer, but you're sitting there and coaching your son or daughter's soccer games. Well, yeah, you are. You totally are. So we're going to honor some of these people. There's a handful of awards. CTV is putting on a Mental Health Champion Award as well that will be presented that day. We're going to be chatting with some of the volunteer organizers at Assiniboine Park coming up in the 7 o'clock hour as well. So stay with us for these great conversations. Ride for Dad is another one. Not only organizing, but getting thousands of dollars for research in our community. So it really is a pleasure and a joy.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thanks, Ains. We'll check in a little later. Let's go out to the rooftop now. You need some layers today to protect your skin because it's breezy.
This is worse than it was over the weekend. And I know I was saying going into the weekend, I'm like, I'm not even going to leave the house. Well, here's the news update. I did leave the house. I bundled up. I got outside. Saturday, I actually thought was fairly pleasant. Don't get me wrong. Cold, but the sun was shining and the winds were light. And I thought, oh, this actually isn't so bad. And there were people out on the river trail I saw over the weekend. And then, of course, there's today. We're not going to get the sunshine. We're not going to get lucking in with the light winds. The winds today will easily be the worst of it, even though the temperatures will look far better than it was over the weekend. We've climbed out of the deep freeze. We're sitting at a very seasonal -22 right now. But those winds right now gusting to 49 kilometers per hour out of the south, making it feel like -36, and I promise you it hurts more than it did this weekend. Pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 75%. I always say that the winds are the hardest element to dress for. And and the fact that we won't be seeing as much sunshine today. But yes, these winds, definitely the nastiest of it all, and they're going to be pretty persistent out of the south through the day and then shifting out of the north overnight, but still with that gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour. It will, however, clear out overnight. We'll see a lot more sunshine for tomorrow. As far as the temperatures go, tomorrow and the rest of the week might be a degree cooler than today, but those winds are expected to ease and the sun should be back again. So even though it might look cooler, I'm expecting to see some improvements through the rest of the week, and even more so this coming weekend when the temperatures really start to rise.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Spouse Day, so we want to know, how do you like to spoil or be spoiled by your spouse? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back after this. Good morning. Winnipeg police say a taxi driver was assaulted and robbed in the North End by a man with a gun. Police say at 12:35 a.m. on Thursday, they responded to a robbery in the 1100 block of Main Street. The driver was giving the suspect a ride, and the suspect, approximately a 35-year-old man, asked to be dropped off in the 400 block of Charles Street. Before leaving the vehicle, police say the suspect pulled out a shotgun and told the driver to leave the car. The man then allegedly assaulted the driver, stole property, and fled the scene. The driver was treated for minor injuries, and the suspect was still at large as of Saturday night. Police say he is described as Caucasian or Indigenous, heavy build, and possible facial hair on the chin in appearance. He was also wearing a black jacket and a black toque at the time. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 204-986-6219 or Crime Stoppers. More medical resources are on the way to Manitoba. The province says it's recruited 13 U.S. trained physicians.
To paraphrase what it says at the Statue of Liberty, give us your poor, give us your weary, give us your Americans yearning to be free. At this time in the world, everyone sees what's going on in the United States, and we're very proud here in Manitoba to accept people as they are.
Health Minister Uzama Azaguera says the 13 physicians are in addition to 285 doctors the NDP says it's added since taking office. Azaguera added there are dozens of other doctors in the recruitment process. One of the new American hires moved to Winnipeg last summer from Michigan and is already working at Clinic Community Health on Sherbrooke Street.
I moved in large part because I saw the increasing government interference in care. And I do community health, so I focus on underserved populations, and that includes LGBTQ+ populations. So I saw sort of the writing on the wall that was going to become more and more difficult to provide quality care to those patients. And I am really passionate about being able to provide care to the people who need it most.
Dr. Jesse Krikorian says his decision to work in Canada is based on a healthcare system prioritizing need rather than what someone can afford. The province says it's continuing its international recruitment efforts through licensing, immigration, and community placement. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Things appear to be moving well. It is really windy out there, though, so it might be making the surfaces on the streets a little bit slippery.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson's dystopic thriller Mercy has finally unseated Avatar: Fire and Ash as the king of the box office after Avatar's hugely successful 5-week reign.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today and charged with the murder of your wife.
Mercy brought in $11.2 million US and $22.8 million globally on its debut, which critics say doesn't instill confidence that the film will recoup its roughly $60 million budget by the end of its theatrical run. In fact, this weekend's top 10 domestic grossing films raked in just over $44 million, a steep decline from the $175 million high from when the third Avatar film debuted on December 19th. The category is phrase. The answer, Vanna White is married. She and her longtime partner, John Donaldson, have officially tied the knot. In an Instagram post, she wrote, "Surprise, we got married." No word on when the wedding happened. As she says, they made it official in a private ceremony a little while back. She also included some throwback photos. The two have been together for more than a decade. And Nintendo is out with a new trailer for its next Super Mario Brothers movie, and it includes the introduction of a character fans will recognize.
Who is this? Yoshi.
Mario's iconic dinosaur friend Yoshi joins the gang in the trailer for Super Mario Galaxy. The first Super Mario movie debuted in 2023 and claimed the title of the highest grossing film adaptation of a video game. The sequel hits theaters April 1st with Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Jack Black among the original cast members returning. Your Monday primetime lineup starts with Extracted at 7, following at 8, Memory of a Killer. Nathan Fillion stars The Rookie at 9, and St. Denis Medical wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV. One of the things I did manage to do this weekend, because it was so cold, was finish a book, Terry. I was so happy to be done, and now I'm on to trying to figure out what's my next read. I'm excited.
Okay. I thought you were going to say you cleaned your freezer or your deep freeze, right?
No, I cleaned my house. That's about it.
Well, there you go, right? And that's sometimes, how I was saying last week, a nice thing to be able to get to, right? Sometimes we're busy enjoying the nice weather or getting up to things, but a lot of things you didn't want to leave the house for. So sure, you got your house cleaned and a book finished. Congratulations. That's a productive weekend, I'd say. A look right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. CTV Live Eye brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Now we're waking up to warmer temperatures, but much windier conditions. At least the winds were light over the weekend, though we all found ourselves stuck in the deep freeze. Today, honestly, I'm telling you, it actually feels worse. And it's because of that wind cutting through those layers. So it's actually harder to dress for these conditions, I find, than when it was a few degrees colder. Right now we're sitting at minus 22 here in Winnipeg, but slightly milder temperatures throughout the rest of southern central Manitoba, waking up in those mid-high minus teens. Northern Manitoba, some low minus 20s for you, but then the winds, they still have as nasty of a bite as what we were experiencing through last week, and that's because at times today they'll be gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. It'll be a south wind, but it certainly will have an impact to what it's feeling like out there. So just know that that's going to be an issue for today. So too will the lack of sunshine. It was certainly looking brighter over the weekend, as cold as it was. Today we'll deal with some heavier clouds and maybe even some light and scattered snow. As kids are getting settled into the classroom this morning, minus 21, minus 18 through the lunch hour, and minus 14 by the time they're coming home. But we will have those heavier clouds lasting through the day and those very strong winds that will make waiting for a bus or doing anything outdoors a little less pleasant than what you might think minus 14 would feel like. It clears out overnight, sunshine, but slightly cooler temperatures through the rest of the week. The weekend, though, looking spectacular with some above seasonal temperatures on tap. Well, little Brew bundled up and headed out to endure the cold, looking absolutely adorable. Thanks to Candace for this photo. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. People in Rhode Island are divided about a proposal to ditch Mr. Potato Head's specialty license plates in the state.
The license plate has been a staple in Rhode Island for quite a while now. People like it.
For years, the toy maker Hasbro has operated in the state. As a tribute to them, the state has offered Mr. Potato Head license plates for $40, with half of the money going to food banks. Hasbro is now moving to Boston, and one lawmaker wants to get rid of the free advertising for the outgoing company. He also says if anyone's worried about lost money to the food bank, they could just donate directly to the food bank. As we know, live TV is often unscripted and unpredictable, and one of our colleagues in Ottawa found that out quickly with one simple squat.
Perfect, so we're gonna go down into a squat. Oh my God, no.
And they literally
I'm not even kidding you. I heard it.
Oh no, this is CTV's Will Aiello. It happened during CTV Your Morning Ottawa last week. And I guess this is why you shouldn't wear a suit while exercising. Oh, poor guy. That did it for him for the rest of the show. Well, Canada has for decades been known as a hockey-crazed nation, a rite of passage for young kids growing up playing the sport. But new numbers confirm many more Canadian children are now scoring goals on the field, not on the ice. CTV's Andrew Johnson has more.
So 1, 2, 3. skate.
Under the lights in Vancouver.
Remember, guys, we have to accelerate with the ball.
Canadian winter for these kids is spent on the field, not at the rink.
When I go outside, it just makes me feel happy. It's really fun.
They're part of a Canadian generation now overwhelmingly choosing soccer over hockey.
This has been his sport since he was like 2 years old. Messi and Ronaldo. And so those were the two guys that he looked up to, and it's just something that came naturally to him.
According to a new report by Canadian Tire Jumpstart Charities, half of young Canadians play soccer, making it the most widely played youth sport in the country, more than twice the number who play hockey.
I think it's so accessible. Kids can play at school, at recess, at lunch. All you need is a ball and a wall.
It's multicultural. You don't need to speak to get a, friendship. You just have to play soccer.
Yes,
The popularity of soccer also comes down to cost. The report says families spent 4 times more to put a child in hockey.
This keeps them off of video games, which I feel is way more expensive.
Like hockey, the report confirms soccer is attracting more boys than girls. A stat Sloan Rodriguez is experiencing firsthand.
What's it like being the only girl on a boys' team?
It feels a bit awkward.
What hasn't changed is the positive power of sport. 96% of families say they believe it improves their children's physical health. 93% point to mental health benefits. Now that's a win. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
All right, here's a look at what Ainsley's up to today. She's hanging out with Volunteer Manitoba. We're going to find out more about some of the volunteers in our province that are going to get nominated for a special award. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail's live with Volunteer Manitoba this morning, and they're looking for nominations, special nominations. Good morning, Ainsley.
There are thousands of volunteers in this province, and we want to celebrate and recognize them here at Volunteer Manitoba. Its executive director is joining me once again, Ashley Seymour. There's categories, though, so people at home who are going to be nominating, they can kind of take a look at the categories. What are some of them?
Yeah, we have 8 different categories, and so they include the Premier's Volunteer Service Award, we have the Lieutenant Governor's Volunteer Award, we have a category specific for people in the city of Winnipeg, as well as group awards, youth awards. There's really a category for everyone out there.
Mm-hmm. And these are people who are putting in decades of service, thousands and thousands of hours. It goes without saying that we need to honor them, but who are these people?
We get to meet so many incredible people through this process. It's really heartwarming. One that kind of comes to mind is a woman last year who received one of the Premier's Volunteer Service Awards from Rossburn, Manitoba. And so we made the trip up to present her award, and we got to meet folks from her community and learn that she's been volunteering for over 60 years, which is just so incredible. And so it's folks like that we're looking to recognize, to celebrate, and the people who just give so much of their time and energy to support their communities.
Mm-hmm. Well, shout out to Rossburn, Manitoba. We love you here. We're thinking about you in Winnipeg. What should people keep in mind before they put their nomination forward?
Yeah, we encourage people to visit our website, volunteermanitoba.ca. You can take a look at all the different categories to see what the certain criteria are. And then just really tell us a story. Tell us about the impact that these people have on your community, whether it be on events or different programs that are being offered. But we really just want to showcase and, again, celebrate the impact that volunteers are making here in Manitoba.
Thank you so much. Doesn't matter where you are. Look around. There's a volunteer everywhere. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ainsley. And, you know, in this cold, there are volunteers that work outside sometimes and do some incredible work helping those who are unsheltered or that need some extra support. So kudos to those volunteers.
Yeah, I was going to say hats off to them, but throw them an extra toque for those that are working outside in these conditions. My goodness. Especially on a day like today when it's the winds that are so wicked. Minus 22 feels like minus 36 right now as those winds winds shaking our camera are gusting to 49 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 75%. Honestly, I would rather the colder temperatures like we endured over the weekend when the winds were on the lighter side and the sun was shining. Today, we're not going to be seeing much sunshine, but those winds will easily be the worst of it all, at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. It will be a south wind throughout the day today, and then probably still shifting overnight, staying strong. Here, along with the clouds, you can see those darker gray spots. That's a little bit of flurry activity that we'll see showing up throughout much of southern Manitoba. So the possibility that you might encounter a few flakes of snow as well with those heavier clouds. Yes, the temperatures will be warmer, minus 14 compared to the mid to high minus 20s that we suffered through over the weekend. But today will come these winds out of the south up to 50 clicks, and as a result, those wind chill values will hurt a little bit. Down to minus 21 overnight, so nothing wrong with these temperatures. Again, that's very close to what is seasonal, minus 22 being that normal low. But those shifted winds out of the northwest tonight will still be up to about 50 kilometers per hour. However, the sky begins to clear, and that will set us up for a lot more sunshine for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the winds won't be as strong, temperatures won't be quite as warm, but I feel like tomorrow will probably be more pleasant with that return of the sunshine and the lighter winds. And from there, we'll stay in those high minus teens through the rest of the week. The real warm-up actually comes this weekend with some heavier clouds and a bit of light snow, but then some even warmer temperatures as we're wrapping things up on Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police say they are searching for a suspect after a robbery at a fast food restaurant in the city's north end. Police say they responded at 5:38 a.m. on Saturday to the restaurant in the 200 block of Henderson Highway near Poplar Avenue. No one was injured, but the force allege a suspect with an edged weapon went behind the restaurant's counter, took the till, and fled on foot. Police described the suspect as approximately 5'5" tall with a small build, aged between 28 and 30, and as a Caucasian male. He was wearing a brown jacket with a white stripe down the arms and dark pants. He was also carrying a dark backpack and maybe had his face covered. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit at 204-986-6219 or Crime Stoppers. One city councillor wants the city to sever its ties to a U.S. organization and stop reimbursing some travel expenses south of the border. Transcona councillor Russ Wyatt has put forward a motion which would end the city's membership with an American free trade organization. Wyatt says it costs the city $30,000 a year in membership fees and travel expenses. He also wants the city to stop compensating any travel related to the Red River Basin Commission. Wyatt's motion says the city should align itself with the Canadian public at large, which has significantly slowed down travel and spending in the U.S. The motion was seconded by Councillor John Orlico and will be debated at this week's council meeting. The Louis-Riel School Division is asking for feedback as it lays out its 2026-27 operating budget. The school division says its preliminary $281 million budget adds no additional staff, but additional funding is needed. It says provincial support, property taxes, and other revenue have not kept pace with inflation. The division says if the province doesn't increase funding at all, school taxes would have to go up by 11.5% to keep all existing staff and services. To help balance the budget, the division is putting forward a handful of reductions and deferrals in areas such as technology investments and maintenance of school buildings. You can find more information and fill out a survey by visiting lrsd.net/budget. Across the U.S., people are struggling with a storm that brought snow, ice, and power outages to much of the country. The storm has been linked to the deaths of at least 11 people in the U.S. There are more than 800,000 homes and businesses across the country without power right now. Power was knocked out by an ice storm, which hit several southern states. Yesterday was the worst day for flight cancellations in the U.S. since the pandemic, with more than 17,000 flights canceled. School boards in major cities have called a snow day. More snow is expected today in New England. Demonstrators gathered in the nation's capital on the weekend to show support for the ongoing protests in Iran.
We want the world to know that people, they are fighting against dictatorship in Iran.
Hundreds marched through Ottawa calling on the federal government to increase sanctions and demand accountability from Tehran. The rally comes as human rights groups continue to report mass arrests and executions of protesters in Iran. The 2026 Super Bowl matchup is set. It will be the New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks on February the 8th in Santa Clara, California. Drake May with the lone touchdown as the Patriots held off the Denver Broncos 10-7. The game started off with green grass but ended in a blizzard bowl. Both teams missed field goal attempts and New England eventually held on for the victory. They will be going for their 7th NFL title and first with May as the quarterback. Seattle Seahawks will try to avenge their 2015 Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. They held off the Los Angeles Rams 31-27 to advance to the big game. The Rams were driving late but ran out of time at the end. Seattle has won the NFL title once in the history of the franchise. And of course, all the Super Bowl Sunday action comes your way Sunday, February 8th on CTV and TSN. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the morning and afternoon rush hours, the northbound curb and middle lanes on St. James Bridge will be closed for street construction. To access eastbound Portage, you will have to use Ness Avenue. And then on St. Mary's Road, the northbound median and curb lane will be closed for sewer work from Craddock to Fermor. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.28. The provincial average is $1.17. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly lower at $1.16, and the lowest price in the city is $1.07. All this info is on gasbuddy.com. Right now, it's minus 22 outside with the wind chill. Feels like minus 36. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this break.
I think a lot of us were waiting for some warmer weather today, and while technically we're getting some, we're not getting lighter winds, and as a result, I say it feels even colder than it did over the weekend, or at least nastier because of that intense wind that's going to be whipping around throughout the day. Minus 22 right now with that wind gusting out of the south 49 kilometers per hour, and that's making it feel like minus 36 with the pressure falling and the humidity at 75%. Not only will we deal with stronger winds, but a lack of sunshine for today, and at least we had that going for us over the weekend, the sunshine and the light winds, which does make things easier to dress for. I always say these are the hardest conditions, not the lack of sunshine. I mean, that just means you don't need the sunglasses, but the winds that just cut through those extra layers or right in the face, depending on what direction you're headed in. Now, throughout the province today, the temperatures, yes, they will look a little bit warmer. So from the extreme deep freeze, none of those warnings are in place for us today, as we're likely to see the temperatures climbing high minus teens and low minus 20s. But there will be those extra clouds, and for some, even some scattered flurries today. And then, yes, you factor in those winds, and that bite will be a little bit bitter. Here through the west central part of the province is where things might look a little bit brighter today. Some of the more breaks in the clouds will be through that part of the province. That is the wind icon in and around the Brandon area, and we too will deal with those stronger winds throughout the day today. We might even see some scattered flurries, but some of the warmest temperatures that we've had for several days now, still not quite seasonal. Minus 12 would be a normal high. We're not quite reaching those numbers, but it will be the warmest of what we've got through the rest of the week. However, it will get brighter with lighter winds for everything after today. And then the weekend looking exceptionally pleasant. This is my happy zone, slightly above seasonal, minus 10 through minus 7, with the possibility of some flurries before the sun shines again on Sunday.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. Volunteers are the lifeblood of our community, including at Assiniboine Park. Good morning.
Yeah, and those volunteers might be like Terry Rochelle going, minus 10, my happy zone. I love that so much. And I've been to Assiniboine Park in the past, and I'm going, wait, this is a volunteer. Sometimes you're in a space and you don't actually realize that you're surrounded by volunteers that make it all happen. Ablel is joining us now, and he's the man behind all these volunteers facilitating it all. Tell us about some of those opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Volunteers do a lot at the Assiniboine Park. We really wouldn't be able to do the things that we do and operate the way that we do if it wasn't for volunteers. So they support our animal care team at the zoo, our horticulture team at the Park and the Leaf, as well as our education team too. They support them running programs year-round, as well as our special events team as well. So if you've been to Zoo Lights, that ended not too long ago. Fleur de Ville at the Leaf also was an event that took place there. Just this past weekend, we had a lot of volunteers there helping as well. So they really do kind of interact with as many people as possible around the park, and they do a lot at the park for sure.
Mm-hmm. And are you hearing from them that it's somewhat of a bonus too, because they get to take part in it, they get to enjoy the park? What else do they like about it?
Yeah, they really do enjoy giving back to the community in the park. You know, they come not because they have to, but because they want to, and they really value the mission and all the things that the park does. So they care about it a lot, and they want to give back to a community that maybe they spent a lot of time as their youth, or maybe they're new to the city and they want to experience some new experiences. So whether that's interacting with guests, providing sharing stories about the animals in the zoo, or you know, supporting programs that happen at the park. So they try to pretty much do a lot of things, and we're very grateful for all the things that they do.
And you're recruiting right now. So at home, do you like animals? Do you like flowers? How can they take part?
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, if you're interested in, you know, if you've been to the park, you've probably seen a volunteer in a blue shirt. So you'd be like the person that an individual would talk to if they come to the zoo, the Leaf, or the park. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, sharing stories, interacting with guests, if you like being with people, March 1st is when we are starting to recruit for our volunteer program. So if you want to learn more about it, you can just go on our website, assiniboinepark.ca, and read more about it. And for sure, we'd be happy to have more people at the park.
New retirees, we're looking at you.
Thank you, Ainsley. The soaring price of groceries continues to be an issue causing great concern for families across this country. A business in Montreal is offering an alternative to big chains. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
An industrial building on what was once a CN rail yard is home to Le Détour.
Fruits and vegetables here. It's a big part of what the savings we can offer. We also have fresh bread.
This is a nonprofit grocery store with a mission to feed the neighborhood at a reasonable price while also nourishing community connections.
We're not sending our profits to any billionaires in Toronto or in the U.S. We're really here to keep our prices as low as possible while ensuring also that we can, you know, keep the lights on.
Le Détour is open to all, but has 400 members who volunteer a few hours a month in exchange for a discount.
That most of the work is done by members makes a big, big difference.
Charles Duplessis worked in industrial automation. He's now retired and working the cashier. I wanted to get involved in the community and to do something to help, he says. Le Détour is in Montreal's Pointe St. Charles, a historically working-class area. It opened 8 years ago, inspired by projects in New York and France. They try to bank on local products when it's possible, and it's a very pleasant atmosphere, says Virginie Gauvin, who lives nearby.
We try to make sizes.
Le Détour keeps prices as stable as possible, but doesn't have the latitude of big chains to have big specials. Still, it studied the market and found, for instance, that members save more than $63. That's 85% compared to a basket at Quebec-based chain Maxi of 32 regular-priced vegetables. And here the groceries come with a big helping of the flavor of the neighborhood. And members here say this is a model that could serve as inspiration as the price of food keeps going up. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
No ropes, no safety harness, and apparently no fear for one climber who scaled one of the world's tallest buildings. That was American climber Alex Honnold making his way up the 101-story Taipei 101 tower. It took him roughly an hour and a half to complete the heart-stopping climb. The stunt gathered quite a crowd of onlookers below, and the feat was also broadcast live on Netflix. The 40-year-old is the first person to make the climb without a rope or safety gear. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 32nd birthday, John, with best wishes from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
All
All right, we're out of the extremes, but it doesn't mean today's going to be fantastic. I know it looks like it might, with a high of -14 and a normal high being -12. This will be the closest that we've been for several days, and probably the closest we'll be all week. Now, last year we got up to -3.3. Talk about mild, but even milder yet, all the way back in 1990 when +3 was reached. We've got no sign of plus digits in our near future at all, but improvements over where we were over the weekend as far as the temperatures themselves go. As far as the conditions go, I'm not going to call this an improvement because the winds today are wicked and there's going to be a lack of sunshine. And over the weekend, the sun was shining, the winds were light, and even though it was incredibly cold, it's still easier to dress for those conditions than the winds that we'll experience today. -22 right now feels like -36 as those winds out of the south are gusting to 49 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 75%. So there's also a little bit of light snow just kind of floating around out here this morning. That could make for some reduced visibility in some of those outlying areas as the blowing snow will create like a little bit of a snow globe effect. And yes, these winds, like I said, they certainly have impact, and they'll remain strong throughout the day and overnight. But overnight, the sky begins to clear, so the heavier clouds that'll stick around today will be moving out for tomorrow, and the sunshine will return. Those temperatures will be dropping off, though, another couple of degrees. Today will be the warmest of the week until the weekend.
For couples struggling to conceive a baby, fertility treatments can be emotionally and physically exhausting. It can also be very expensive. But a local nonprofit organization in Manitoba is helping to tackle the financial burden for some families. It's called the Gift of Love and Hope, Inc. And now the organization is expanding its help by opening up a second grant. Joining us now to tell us more is Anna Almowella. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this organization began because of someone's personal experience, their own personal journey with infertility. You yourself have a story, a personal story. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so my husband and I went through infertility for just about under 5 years. It was a struggle. We had miscarriages, we had ectopic pregnancies, and it was all during the pandemic, which made it a lot tougher. But the isolation was a blessing in disguise because I was able to like focus internally on our journey and really put more thought into the steps that we were taking. And really the end game was IVF for us, and so we conceived our daughter in 2023 via IVF. So we're very grateful for the technology, but as we've always discussed, it's not a very affordable way to grow your family.
It's a lot of money, and so
a lot,
for some families, they have to make some tough decisions.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at, you know, possibly getting a line of credit or using credit cards up. We do have a tax fertility in Manitoba, which is very helpful, but it's just so expensive, it's not enough.
Okay, so then you started this organization, the Gift of Love and Hope. Tell us what that is exactly.
Actually, it was founded by my friend Melissa Francisco.
Okay.
And so I've kind of been like the face of it because I'm able to talk and share about my story. But it was founded in 2023, and she herself has her own fertility journey and story, and she really wanted to just start something here in Manitoba that can help financially aid people that are going through infertility. She noticed that there were a lot of grants available in the States, but not so much in Canada, let alone in Manitoba. So she really wanted to be the first and try to help other people that can't afford it.
And so that's what started it all.
Yeah.
It really you were allowed one grant. You'd have a fundraising walk every year, and the money that you raised would allow one grant of $5,000 to a family. Well, that's changed because you've doubled that. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so 2025 was a very successful year. I mean, really, when we look at the small fundraisers that our family and friends have been able to, you know, give to us or do for us, it does add up. And we've had a few organizations and individuals reach out and donate, you know, money from, you know, winnings of like an internal ball hockey tournament, which Qualico Homes did.
Wow.
They gave us $7,100, which is our biggest donation to date. And then we had an individual reach out to us and just donate $2,000. So it's technically our third year really going into everything, and it's gradually increasing and getting better, and it definitely warms our heart to see the just our name getting out there.
Absolutely. Even your walk is getting bigger every year, and more people are supporting you. What does it feel like when you give that check to a family that's been fighting for fertility for years?
The first time we did it, we were all on a Zoom call, and I think it was so hard to even say anything. We all just were crying. And I think it makes a difference because our organization is just filled with women who have experienced it or have a loved one. So we absolutely understand the emotional and financial burden, which is why we're doing what we're doing. And it just felt so good to be able to just give back when we know that when we were struggling ourselves, we really thought about what would we have wanted as support, or what did support look like for us.
Right.
And that's just what we want to give to more Manitobans.
Okay, well, your walk is in the summertime, right?
It's in September.
In September, so it's in the
nice,
fall.
yeah.
So it's still nice outside. What do you want people to know if they want to support you?
Yeah, so if you want to support us, come out on our website, giftofloveandhope.ca. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Our handle is the Gift of Love and Hope Inc. And basically, we accept donations all year round. It doesn't just have to be at our walk. Our walk is a really special place, though, to gather and be able to advocate and draw awareness to infertility. Yeah.
And of course, we're going to have the link on our website as well if you want to support the cause. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hello there, Kara Waglin inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we head to the PGA Tour and the first round of the American Express. Jimmy Stanger on the 213-yard par 3 13th tee shot, going in the drink. So he steps up against the tee. In the water he goes again. Third time's a charm, right? He doesn't like this shot, and for good reason. Because once again, let's go for a little dip in the water. Stanger shot a 6 over 9 on the hole. That is your must-see moment, or a moment to forget. Coming up tonight on TSN, the Raptors look for a third straight win as they continue their road trip against the Portland Trailblazers. Coverage for that one gets underway at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Monday, January 26th, Bostock sentencing. Winnipeg's mayor weighs in on the case of a disgraced police officer and why the outcome of the case may offer reassurances that the system is working as it should. Stormy weather all over eastern Canada, why it's a good idea to double-check flight status if your itinerary takes you anywhere close to the GTA. And just add a cup of very good coffee, what a celebrated London restaurant is doing to elevate the morning meal in both sophistication and expense. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. Happy Monday to you. It is 8 o'clock on a beautiful day.
Yes, it's a beautiful day.
Kind of a beautiful day. A little warmer at least. At 8:15, we're going to tell you about Flipside Opera. They really provide opera to places and to people that might not necessarily access it that easily.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit more on why they're doing it and what kind of shows you could expect and where. It's the places that it's happening is pretty cool too.
Very
neat. Again, let's talk about the weather. Is it worth singing about?
Okay, here's the thing. Singing might be a good distraction from what's going on outside. It is definitely warmer than it was as we were rolling into the weekend. We are coming out of extreme cold. That deep freeze was in place all weekend long. And now, yes, the temperatures have improved, but the winds have increased. So minus 22 feels like minus 36, and it's all due to that south wind gusting to 49 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 75%. I always say wind is one of the toughest elements to dress for. So honestly, I think I probably preferred what we just got through over the weekend. Even managed to get outside on Saturday. The sun was shining, the winds were light. It wasn't that bad because it's a lot easier to dress for cold than it is to dress for wicked winds, which is what we're waking up to this morning. There's going to be some heavier clouds too, so nowhere near as much sunshine as we saw over the weekend. And along with the clouds, there's even a little bit of light flurry activity you can see showing up here. That'll be the case. Many places might see some light and scattered snow, not amounting to too much, but certainly whipping around because these winds will be a factor throughout the day out of the south, shifting out of the northwest into the overnight hours. But it will clear out overnight, and that'll set us up for sunnier conditions tomorrow. Slightly colder, but lighter winds for tomorrow. So I think we'll actually start to see some improvements throughout this week, even though today looks like it'll be the warmest. I think it'll feel better for the rest of the week, and then certainly for the weekend, warmer temps. Yeah, we could see minus single digits as we're wrapping up the weekend Sunday. Charlotte, thank you. What a beautiful job you've done painting this bird for us. And keep the art coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham shared his first reaction on Saturday about disgraced police officer Elston Bostock's 7-year sentence. He agreed the case can set back the public's trust in police service, but also said it can, quote, go the other way.
I think it strengthens public trust in the Winnipeg Police Service because we've got a chief and an executive right now who take this seriously. They won't tolerate it, they won't stand for it, and so, you know, this all came to light because the Winnipeg Police Service was doing basically an internal review of individual officers.
Gillingham said the police service takes this seriously, and almost all the teams in the force do their jobs with integrity and professionalism. He appreciates Police Chief Gene Bowers' statement, adding he supports Bowers' effort to root out any criminal activity in the force. Bostock was sentenced 7 years in jail with credit for time served on Friday for charges including breach of trust, drug trafficking, and offering an indignity to human remains. With all the snow in eastern Canada and in the northeast U.S., it's shaping up to be a brutal travel day, especially if your flight is connecting through Toronto's Pearson Airport.
Flights are getting cancelled, flights are getting delayed, so I had a little bit idea that it is going to be delayed.
Well, I came in at 7 a.m. waiting for my flight. I look at that board and it said it canceled or delayed.
At Pearson, the flight information board turned into more of a cancellation board yesterday. More than half of the flights at Pearson and at downtown Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport were cancelled. And this morning in Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, it's a similar story. Many flights are still cancelled as crews work to clear snow from runways. A major snow and ice storm in the U.S. is also causing delays. If you're traveling, check your flight status before heading out. Affordability and the economy are expected to be top issues when Parliament resumes today.
We're going to continue working on those agendas, and obviously we want to attract the support of people who represent conservative ridings.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is coming off an international trip focused on trade, Arctic defense, and sovereignty. The opposition is expected to push the Liberals on how they plan to back up their words with actions. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is now saying he's willing to help the Liberals fast-track policies on issues like trade, affordability, and crime. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's hoping for cooperation from opposition parties and the premiers. A Michelin-starred restaurant in London is stepping up their breakfast game in a big way.
For us, the breakfast here is everything, especially the food, specifically because breakfast is so overlooked most of the times in hotels.
The Pavilion's Taster Menu breakfast runs for £90, which is about $167 Canadian. That's considerably more than a traditional English breakfast, about 30 times more. The menu is being served at the Four Seasons Hotel in Park Lane. They're hoping the menu encourages people to pause and enjoy their breakfast the way they would with lunch and supper. The menu also changes with the seasons to make sure they're using the best ingredients and to give returning customers something new. Here's what's happening now on Donald Street. You can see things have picked up over here, moving slowly, but overall moving well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Volunteer Manitoba and the incredible volunteers that support a great cause. And one is for men and men's health. Good morning.
Yes, for prostate cancer, Rochelle. And this organization, Ride for Dad, largest motorcycle ride like this in the country. How cool is that? And the recipients of a very prestigious volunteer award. Joining us now is Mo Sabrin, who is one of the recipients because, of course, it's your group, so you're speaking on behalf of them. What did it mean to you to win the Premier's Award?
It was pretty amazing. I know, my committee was they just loved it. Everybody volunteers because of the cause, and But to be recognized by the Premier's Service Award, Volunteer Service Award, was just an amazing experience. Volunteer Manitoba, they did a fantastic job. It was a beautiful gala, and we just had an amazing night. And just to be acknowledged for what we do, and not that we do what we do because we want that acknowledgement, but it was very nice to be acknowledged for it.
And everybody knows the Radford Dad understands the level of community when you get all of the people together. Does it feel the same way for the volunteers?
I think so, because, other than our volunteer committee, which is anywhere between 25, which balloons up to about 50 during the actual event, we still need an additional 200 volunteers. And we have a waiting list. We actually have to vet the people that are coming to volunteer just because we have so many. And, we try to keep our costs down because we are a charity event, and, but we need 200 volunteers. We have people coming back year after year to help out with the event because we think it's just such a fun event. We treat our volunteers very well, and they keep coming back.
Well, you know what? Not a bad problem to have. And congratulations. We're number one, the most giving people in the country. How about that?
Amazing.
Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. The desire for Canada's Arctic is front and center. The strategic location makes it a focal point of global competition and a renewed priority for our military strategy. CTV's Heather Wright takes a closer look.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, guys.
There are few things more quintessentially Arctic than being pulled by a sled dog across a frozen lake.
In the wintertime, we offer kick sled tours pulled by huskies. Good boy, bud. Good boy.
Richard McIntosh is the co-owner of Sundog Adventures and says tourism in the north continues to grow.
Rum, come on, Rum.
Attracting not only visitors, but also employing thousands of people.
We hire guides every year, and we hire service staff every year. But without the tourism, we wouldn't be able to employ nearly as many people.
Canada's Arctic makes up 40% of its total landmass, but just 0.5% of its GDP, according to government figures. Mining continues to be the main industry in the Arctic, but insiders say the full potential of resources here remains untapped.
There's 2 gold mines in proximity.
Karen Costello is the executive director of the Chamber of Mines and says more government investment is needed in the north, not only to attract private investment, but to beef up security as well.
You can't get more present than that. When mining is here, mining employs Northerners. It works with Indigenous businesses, Indigenous development corps.
Canada's Arctic economy is quickly changing. Warming seas and increasing global demand for critical minerals and natural gas have intensified competition in this region.
Everybody is in this infrastructure race.
Brendan Bell is the CEO of West Kitikmeot Resources, an Inuit-owned company spearheading the development of the deep water port and extensive road network, known as the Economic and Security Corridor. It's a massive project with a number of environmental concerns, but if completed, it would connect Nunavut with Canada's highway system in the Northwest Territories.
Canada has lagged significantly behind both our adversaries and our allies who are interested in this part of the world. So I think we're left with very, very few options here, but to make some significant investments.
Well, Canada has some of the largest reserves of critical minerals, which are used in everything from smartphones to cars. It lags significantly behind countries like China in the ability to process them. It's another area experts say is in need of investment.
The CTV Live Eye brought to you by Bathfitter. That's Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Last week, I could have claimed that my mouth had frozen. Today is not so bad. Should we say it again so that they get it in? Bathfitter. We got you in there. Anyway, as far as the conditions go today, yes, it's so much milder than what we experienced over the weekend. But I've been saying all morning long, it doesn't necessarily feel milder, and that all has to do with these intense winds. So the temperatures themselves have certainly improved. We're sitting at -21 right now here in Winnipeg, mid to high minus teens through areas to the west of us and right up through central Manitoba, even into parts of the north. So yes, we're seeing improvements with the temperatures, not so much once you're factoring in the winds, because the winds this morning, they're strong and they definitely have an additional bite. So low -20s is your actual temperature. High -20s or low -30s is what it's feeling like through northern Manitoba. And here it looks like we've almost got the worst of it, feeling like -35 in Winnipeg. Only Kenora with a worse wind chill in place, feeling like -39. Heavier clouds across the province today, so at least we had the sunshine over the weekend. I know it was cold, but it was sunny and bright, and the winds were on the lighter side. Today we're not going to be seeing anywhere near as much sunshine. Heavier clouds lasting through the day, and those winds will be strong. But it's true, the temperatures themselves are an improvement over where they were over the weekend. It just might not feel that way when that wind is whipping through all of the layers that you have on. The improvements will come overnight as the sky clears, and we'll see a lot more sunshine for the week. And then the weekend, it improves even more so yet when those temperatures start to rise. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
The European Commission has launched a formal investigation into Grok, X's chatbot, after the image editing function of its built-in AI tool was widely used to virtually undress pictures of real women and underage girls without their consent. If X is found to have breached the EU online platform rules under the Bloc's Digital Services Act, the Commission could fine the company up to 6% of its global annual turnover. In the middle of an ugly trade dispute, Canada is buying more military equipment from the U.S. It's adding to a 2023 deal that was worth about $430 million worth of munitions and systems for the MQ-9B unmanned aerial vehicles. The $213 million in new equipment includes radar, electronic warfare systems, and inert bombs and training missiles. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
If you're a seasoned opera lover or a newcomer to the art form, a local nonprofit arts performance organization is putting on opera shows in easy-to-access locations. The organization is called Flipside Opera and Art Song Collective, and it is run completely by volunteers. Joining us now to tell us more about Flipside are Lisa Rumpel and Judith Otway. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Flipside's been around for a while, since 2011, right? How did this all begin?
Well, we were completed university, kind of budding opera singers, and really wanting to create opportunities to perform. There's not a lot of opera companies in the city, so we were looking of ways to create our own projects. And so just sort of grew out of that, some like colleagues wanting to put on performances that we weren't seeing other places.
And you wanted just to practice your vocal cords and get more experience, right?
Yeah, and like we just wanted to do it, so we did.
I think it's also been a place where we've been able to do things that we have always wanted to do, but isn't necessarily
like
happening.
What? Give me some examples.
Well, our binge-worthy sort of series is about doing full groups of songs or focusing on one single composer or group of composers. And so we've done one completely written by Black women composers. We did one just this past winter that was all of a certain set by Hugo Wolf. So they're just sort of different, more niche, I guess, but in a very accessible way.
How do you make it more accessible to the public?
So in this last one that we did last year, we decided that we wanted it to feel like we were touching on all senses. So we had visuals by an incredible illustrator named Anna Tumine. She created the foods of Italy and Germany falling in love, which were in connection to all the poems of each of the pieces. So they told the story visually, along with some directing of the singers to connect and kind of speak to each other. And then also we created like a one-line synopsis of each poem. So when you saw the new song, you could either catch the little synopsis, you could see the image, or you could just listen to the singing actors tell the story. And so everyone had a way to connect to it. So it really, we found it to be very, very positive and so engaging for all kinds of audiences.
For someone who's never been to an opera show, what makes it different from others, and what does it do to their soul?
Well, I think partly we often do shows called Opera by the Pint, which are at Little Brown Jug and free to everyone. And people can just really try things, the singers that is, and they get right out there in the audience. So people often comment on how powerful the voices are because they're right up close. They're not separated by any stage or anything. It's like right in your face. And so I think that in itself is very, like, I'm a pianist, I'm not a singer, but I often am very moved by the power of someone's voice right close to me, because the amount of sound they can create with just their body is incredible.
Okay, so we're almost out of time already. You could always use support. You could always use more volunteers, right? What do you need?
Well, we'd love to have people who are interested in getting involved. Volunteers are so wonderful. But also, if you want to help sponsor an event like one of our Opera by the Pints, or help us bring some of these ideas to life, we are happy to hear from you. Yeah, we can definitely use funding as well. We're very happy for the support of other businesses like Manitoba Opera, who recently sponsored one of our events, and Manitoba Arts Council as well.
Well, if you do want more information on how you can support them, we have a link on our website as well. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, out here it's minus 21, but it is very breezy. Those winds sustained out of the south. They're 37 kilometers per hour, and that minus 21 as a result of the winds feels like minus 35. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 75%. Now, I don't have much shelter up here on the rooftop. Like, if it's all coming from behind me, so if I didn't have my hood, my goodness, I wouldn't be staying out here as long as I am. I'm only out here for a minute. Who am I kidding? It's not that bad. But it is on the cloudier side, so those conditions that we enjoyed over the weekend, not that a lot of people enjoyed them, it was desperately cold. We had those extreme cold warnings in place all weekend long, but I've been saying I actually think it was more pleasant over the weekend with the sunshine and the light winds than what we're going to experience today. Yes, there will be the lack of wind, so the heavier clouds, number one, but number two is those winds, and that will easily be the nastiest of it. Those winds, which at times today could be gusting to 50 kilometers per hour out of the south, and then shifting over the night out of the northwest, still up to about 50k winds. Now, we will start to see some clearing in the overnight hours, setting us up for more sunshine tomorrow. Slightly cooler temperatures after today, but even today at minus 14, though it'll be the closest will be to seasonal throughout this week, it might not feel that great. However, there will be some improvements if you wait it out to the weekend. Little Brew bundled up, though, and got out for a walk this weekend. How adorable. Thank you to Candace for the photo, and keep them coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
The winter can be a tough time of the year for restaurants with little foot traffic and fewer tables turning over. But food festivals across the country are trying to change that. CTV's Maria Saru has the details.
Behind the bar, bottles are polished and put back in place. Lights click on and tables are wiped as Slaymaker and Nichols in downtown Charlottetown gets ready to open. But co-owner Steve Murphy says this is the slowest stretch of the year.
Historically, the biggest issue we had was probably around costing or around staffing maybe. But now our biggest challenge is getting people out of the house.
On the island, the cold months can hit harder than elsewhere, with fewer tourists and a smaller population to lean on. That's where Winter Dine comes in. The annual food festival with fixed price menus is an idea inspired by other cities, helping restaurants through the off-season.
We call it R&D in our world, rip off and duplicate, which we do proudly and they share proudly.
Vancouver's Dine Out is underway now. Toronto's Winterlicious starts next week, with others happening across the country.
It drives traffic, but also confirms bookings early on for the restaurants.
At Slaymaker and Nichols, the festival is solving a #1 problem, not just getting customers out, but when they're coming through the doors.
It's more people, for sure, and it's more people on a weeknight. Times are tight. It's hard to afford to go out, and that's a challenge. And we got to find reasons to do that affordably and create a good value to get people out of the house.
Businesses across the city have signed on. Down this strip, many more restaurants are participating in Winter Dine, giving islanders a reason to book a table despite the snow and cold. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Teen Stop Jeunesse is a drop-in center aimed at youth from the ages of 8 to 18. They offer various programs in a safe atmosphere for youth to come and hang out and simply participate. In this month's commitment to community, CTV's Ainsley McPhail explains why food security has become a major barrier and how United Way Winnipeg has helped.
To support youth, to give them a safe space, to give them access to different activities and experiences, but ultimately it's to have them be able to access things like food security.
Over 1 in 5 children in Manitoba, 20%, live in food insecure households. So not only are they providing a safe space, the organization is meeting basic needs for the whole family. Widely known as Pat's Pantry, Teen Stop is able to do just that.
What that looks like is once we have an idea of what those, what we have for that day, we then disperse according to the family's needs and again, based on what we have.
Its executive director, Kellyanne Reyes, has seen firsthand what happens when children go hungry and approaches her work with a compassionate lens.
A lot of their outbursts and anger, frustration, or quick to be emotional in whatever level you want to consider often stems back because something else is missing. And we have experienced or noticed that it's often food related in our community.
Teen Stop's Pantry has done remarkable work alongside other agencies and businesses to reduce food waste. United Way Winnipeg was the main driver to get it all started, according to Reyes.
We want to share with everybody what we've done, how we've done it, and see if we can get more of these kind of things up and going.
If you want to donate, head to unitedwaywinnipeg.ca. Ainsley McPhail, Your Morning Winnipeg.
Commitment to community is brought to you by United Way Winnipeg. Here for Winnipeg.
Here's what's happening now on Notre Dame Avenue. Things are moving well over here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Minus 21, but it feels like minus 35 with those winds out of the south now 37 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 75%. That is a sustained wind that we're waking up to this morning, and it hurts a little bit. I think a lot of us were really looking forward to this week with the slightly milder temperatures, but those milder temperatures are coming with a very intense wind, which we didn't have to endure over the weekend, even though those temperatures were a lot colder. We also didn't have these heavier clouds hanging around. It was a lot brighter over the past weekend with the sun shining for us. But yes, it was cold, and today we're getting a break in that sense. Minus 14 is our expected high today. Minus 12 is actually a normal daytime high, so we're getting a lot closer to seasonal temperatures. However, there's that south wind, at times gusting to 50 clicks, and that's where the bite will come from today, making it maybe less than pleasant. Dropping down to minus 21 overnight. The sky begins to clear, those clouds moving out of the way, but the winds are still going to be strong overnight, shifting out of the northwest. Tomorrow, though, we'll see a little more sunshine, lighter winds expected, and yes, the temperature might be just a couple or a few degrees cooler than what we'll reach today, but I think it might be feeling a little more pleasant, especially with the return of the sunshine and those lighter winds in place. That's where we'll pretty much stay throughout the rest of this week. The real improvements, I think, will come this weekend. Sure, we could be seeing some precipitation on Saturday, but minus 10 and then minus 7. It's been a long time since we talked about those minus single digits.
Winnipeg police have issued a silver alert requesting the public's help to find a missing 91-year-old woman. Police say Anna Polgar was last seen in the 400 block of Taché Avenue at about 9:45 a.m. on Saturday, January 24th. Polgar is 5 feet tall with medium build and gray hair. She was last seen wearing a white long-sleeve shirt, a black jacket with black pants, and dark gray shoes. The Winnipeg Police Service activates a silver alert when a vulnerable adult person is reported as missing. If you have information on the whereabouts of Anna Polgar, please contact the Winnipeg Police Service Missing Persons Unit at 204-986-6250. A massive winter storm system has been pounding wide swaths of the U.S. over the weekend. Stormy weather stretches into the northeastern U.S. with more than 20 states under winter alerts. Difficult times getting around in the Big Apple, where by late afternoon, more than 22 centimeters of snow had fallen. Plows have been in constant motion across several states. Ice has also been a massive problem. At least 1 million people are without power. The Winnipeg Jets took some time off the ice Friday to focus on mental health. Project 11 hosted its 9th annual Youth Summit at Burton Cummings Theatre. A panel of Jets players joined nearly 900 kindergarten to grade 5 students for a day of motivational stories, music, movement, and more. Project 11 started 12 years ago with 86 teachers and has grown to 5,000.
Today here we had adult Project 11 students who once upon a time were earlier students starting our program. And so to see them here today and still, you know, having the conversation, still turning to some of their favorite coping strategies has been really, really special and humbling.
The Project 11 Summit is an extension of the classroom curriculum. The program was created in honor of number 11, Rick Rippon, a former player who experienced difficult mental health challenges and spoke of his desire to see accessible support and education for children. Even if you're not enjoying this cold weather, you have to enjoy this. The Toronto Zoo sharing a video of their Amur tiger, Maisie, out in the snow. When she ventured out, there was even a surprise waiting, a snowman for her to check out. And as a bonus, its nose seems to have been made out of some sort of tiger treat. Canada has for decades been known as a hockey-crazed nation, a rite of passage for young kids growing up playing the sport. But new numbers confirm many more Canadian children are now scoring goals on the field, not on the ice. CTV's Andrew Johnson has more.
So 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Under the lights in Vancouver.
Remember, guys, we have to accelerate with the ball.
Canadian winter for these kids is spent on the field, not at the rink.
When I go outside, it just makes me feel happy. It's really fun.
They're part of a Canadian generation now overwhelmingly choosing soccer over hockey.
This has been his sport since he was like 2 years old. Messi and Ronaldo. And so those were the two guys that he looked up to, and it's just something that came naturally to him.
According to a new report by Canadian Tire Jumpstart Charities, half of young Canadians play soccer, making it the most widely played youth sport in the country, more than twice the number who play hockey.
I think it's so accessible. Kids can play at school, at recess, at lunch. All you need is a ball and a wall.
It's multicultural. You don't need to speak to get a, friendship. You just have to play soccer.
Yes,
The popularity of soccer also comes down to cost. The report says families spent 4 times more to put a child in hockey.
This keeps them off of video games, which I feel is way more expensive.
Like hockey, the report confirms soccer is attracting more boys than girls. A stat Sloan Rodriguez is experiencing firsthand.
What's it like being the only girl on a boys' team?
It feels a bit awkward.
What hasn't changed is the positive power of sport. 96% of families say they believe it improves their children's physical health. 93% point to mental health benefits. Now that's a win. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Here's a look at traffic now along Kenniston Boulevard. It looks like things are moving well. We have no issues or problems to tell you about at this point in the drive. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.28. The provincial average is $1.17. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly lower at $1.16. And the lowest price in the city is $1.07. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. For our question of the day, today is National Spouse Day, so we wanted to know, how do you like to spoil or be spoiled as a spouse? Marlene says her husband spoils her when he opens doors, makes me hot chocolate every morning, and they cook meals for each other. That's sweet. Helen shared, we treat ourselves to a meal out. That way, neither of us has to cook. Bev likes to spoil her spouse with surprise gifts or gifts he likes and needs. And Susan loves when her husband cooks supper. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is highlighting volunteers in this province and why there is a need to commemorate them and give them an award. Good morning.
Good morning. That's happening in April, but January 30th is the deadline to get in those nominations. I am joined by Judith Ovioson, who is with Volunteer Canada. So pleased to be joined. Tell us a little bit about this agency.
So Volunteer Canada is the national leadership in terms of volunteerism in Canada. It's been around for over 40 years, and it's a national organization. And our goal and our vision is advancing volunteerism across Canada.
Mm-hmm. Well, perfect timing. Year of the Volunteer declared by the UN. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. The International Year of the Volunteer is just a very amazing opportunity, and mostly a reminder for us also to kind of understand and recognize the importance of civic participation. But even for us in Canada, it's really just to kind of renew our cultural values in terms of volunteerism among Canadians. And for Volunteer Canada, it is not just really about just a celebration. It is an opportunity to take action. So we're encouraging people, you know, making sure that volunteers feel supported, and also that nonprofit organizations that engage with volunteers across the country have the necessary resources and infrastructure to meaningfully engage with volunteers. And, you know, that is why this year Volunteer Canada is really launching a national campaign called the Find Your Team campaign. This campaign is really a national call to action, and it's a way for people in Canada to find, you know, diverse ways in their community where they can volunteer. And it's also another opportunity to really encourage everyone in Canada to take that first or the next step to volunteerism.
And you got to find something that you like. That's another part of this theme, is find what you like. Manitobans tend to do that, but we're also very generous and giving with our time.
Yes. Yeah, giving is part of Canadian culture, and it has been for a long time. And this year is just another opportunity for us to reflect on that. And it's a reminder to tell us that, you know, there's so many ways in our communities where we can get involved, but also that, you know, it is our collective action and solidarity that's going to help us to fight some of the challenges within our communities.
Yeah. Before we're at a time, why would you encourage the folks at home to nominate their favorites?
Yes, absolutely. The Manitoba Awards are coming up soon. I encourage everyone to go out there and nominate people in your community who are doing great work. This is an opportunity for us to recognize and celebrate our volunteers, and this is the year, most importantly, that you need to get out there and do that.
Thank you so much. CTV will be there as well, championing the Mental Health Award. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. That wind, not fun today.
No, it's definitely the worst of it. I am somewhat sheltered only by my hood. Otherwise, up here, it's kind of the worst of it. There's also a little bit of light snow that's falling out here right now, but you're probably going to really notice that snow swirling around, and it's because of these intense winds. Oh, and then it comes off the rooftop. Poof. Yeah, a face full of it. Minus 21, that's our actual temperature, which is actually pretty close to normal, but it feels more like minus 35 when you're counting that 37K sustained wind out of the south. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 75%, and at times, that wind could gust to about 50 kilometers per hour. It'll be out of the south for today. Still strong overnight, though, as it shifts out of the northwest. Now, here's the thing about today. It will be warmer. The temperatures themselves are going to improve coming off of the deep freeze that we experienced over the weekend. So as a result, all of those extreme cold warnings have lifted, but with those milder temperatures comes some heavier clouds, a little bit of light snow, and yes, those stronger winds. Now, the clouds will actually likely clear into the overnight hours, and then we're likely to enjoy a bit more sunshine through the rest of the week. Slightly cooler temperatures, but still better than it was over the weekend. High teens after today's mid-teens that we'll reach. The real impressive stuff, we've been waiting for this. It comes this weekend with a slight warm-up in the works. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
If you're thinking of upgrading to a snowblower, electric models have improved, and there are also power shovels to make clearing snow easier. CTV's Pat Foran takes a look at some of the best options for snow removal equipment.
Following a snowstorm, if you own a snowblower, you'll be the envy of the neighborhood, but they're a big investment, so you want to make the right choice. That's why before the first snowflakes fall, Consumer Reports tests them with sawdust.
We use wet sawdust to test snow blowers because it has the consistency of snow.
Testers look at how fast they'll remove the snow, how far it throws the snow, and how each snowblower handles the dreaded plow pile at the end of your driveway.
Snowblowers are very serious investments, especially if you're buying a 2-stage or 3-stage model. In general, they only make sense if you have 3 or more serious snowfalls a year and you don't want to be beholden to a plow company.
2-stage snowblowers are ideal for bigger jobs and will typically clear snow faster and throw it farther than single-stage blowers. They're also better on hills and gravel driveways. The latest tests find gasoline-powered snowblowers continue to outperform electric and battery-powered models. However, battery-powered snowblowers have improved.
Battery-powered snowblowers are finally starting to catch up to gas models.
There is an affordable tool that can help you avoid shoveling that doesn't cost a fortune. This year, researchers also tested battery and corded electric power shovels.
Power shovel sort of looks like a light-duty snowblower, and it's really a hybrid between a snowblower and a traditional shovel. They're designed to go places where a snowblower would be overkill, like a short walkway or an elevated deck.
This $300 battery-powered Greenworks was the best of the bunch, but keep in mind these power shovels are heavier than a regular shovel, still require some muscle, and are only truly effective for 15 centimeters of snow or less.
If you're only going to buy one type of shovel, this type is the one to get. It works for a variety of conditions. It's wide, so you can lift up a lot of snow, and it even has a steel lip here for getting through compacted snow or light ice.
Another useful tool, getting help from everyone in your household and making clearing the snow a family affair.
It involves a corpse bride, ancient rituals, and punishing your enemies. A new book is examining the heavy expectations Chinese women face in both society and culture and the toll it takes on their lives. It's a horror titled Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies and was written by award-winning and Winnipeg-based author Lindsay Wong. Author Lindsay Wong is joining us now. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, the title is very unusual, Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies. Tell us a little bit about what inspired this title itself.
So villain hitting is based on this old Chinese voodoo where you can actually curse your enemies. You pay an old auntie, $50 Hong Kong, and you say, curse my ex, curse my boss. And so that's what inspired the book. And then vicious little nobodies refers to people who kind of feel like they're nobodies. They have no choice in life. So usually women, marginalized women, and that relates to the book itself in corpse marriage, right, which is arranged after marriage, which I think we're going to talk about next.
This was actually what you grew up with. You heard these stories about if you didn't marry someone, you could be buried with a stranger.
Absolutely. It's a warning to women that get married or you'll end up married to a stranger in a box, right? And it's happening in China. People are being trafficked, especially marginalized women, and they wake up or they don't wake up at all.
What?
Yeah, it's terrifying. And the protagonist, Lucinda Lowe, she ends up selling her corpse to save her grandmother and sister. I mean, it happens. It doesn't happen in Canada. I hope not, at least corpse marriage, but it does happen in rural areas in China.
Now, you actually traveled to China to do research for this book, including meeting an auntie who could put a curse on someone that you want to get back at. Right?
Oh, absolutely. So I went to Hong Kong, and these aunties live under the bridge in Causeway Bay, and you just pay them, and they will hit the paper effigy of the person you hate with a shoe, right? And they'll curse them. They'll do whatever you want to them.
It sounds like it's a joke, but it's not. This is really happening. People
is.
pay for the service. And so it's scary to think that that's, you know, some of these supernatural legends that you grew up with. So you put it in a book. Why did you want to do that?
I think I just wanted to really make sense of choicelessness for women, intergenerational trauma, and just thinking about, you know, who has the power. It's usually the women under the bridge. They have nowhere to go. And so they're the ones, you know, being paid to curse people, right? And I'm thinking about, you know, as women, like what agency do we have, right? We're locked in a box, right? We're told, you know, you can't do anything but get married or end up in a coffin with someone. It's terrifying, isn't it?
It is terrifying, and this is a fictional book, but it's a
fiction.
horror.
It's horror, right? And it's based on Chinese superstition, Chinese mythology, and what happens when you have no choice, right? When you have poverty, intergenerational trauma, and so that's what my characters go through, Lucinda and her grandmother.
That is incredible. Okay, well, you've written a memoir in 2018. It was called The Woo Woo. It got lots of attention, lots of love. You also had a book of short stories that you released in 2023. It was called Tell Me Pleasant Things About Immortality. These are all based on things, legends and superstitions that you grew up with in your culture, right? And you're just continuing that in this new book.
I am. So I'm really inspired by, I guess, the supernatural. I was always told, you know, if you don't believe or do something horrible, it's going to be caused by demonic possession. And so the monsters and the demons are real in Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies.
You're launching Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies tomorrow at McNally Robinson at 7 o'clock. What do you want people to know?
It's going to be hosted by Jenny Hagen-Wills. It's going to be fun. There will be no villain hitting. I mean, unless you want to, right? We'll curse your enemies for maybe $50 Canadian.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to dive right into this. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Congrats on the new book, Villain Hitting for Vicious Little Nobodies, written by Lindsay Wong. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, look at the sky. Pretty and pink this morning. Nice little change up as the sun is rising over the city. Not that we're going to be seeing too much in the way of sunshine today. Those heavier clouds out there will be lasting pretty much throughout, and more than clouds, maybe even a little bit of light snow. I've been watching it kind of blowing around, and yes, blowing around is the factor today because those winds are out of the south, 37 kilometers per hour. So minus 21 because of those winds feels like minus 35. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 75%. So yes, we could have some light snow falling and blowing snow. Those winds, they're still going to be nasty, and that nasty wind could make our temperatures feel every bit as cold as they were over the weekend. And I know so many people were looking forward to today and getting those warmer temperatures. Well, here's a look at the satellite image with the clouds and the scattered snow, and now a look at the temperatures, and they need a bit of an explanation today. So minus 14 will take us very close to seasonal, minus 12 normal for this time of year, but with that intense wind, it's still going to feel much colder yet. However, the sky will clear overnight, a lot more sunshine expected through the rest of the week. And then this weekend, this is where we're really starting to see some improvements, far more pleasant temperatures. We could get some heavier clouds and a little bit of light snow Saturday, but followed up with some sunshine and some minus single digits Sunday. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a tip on how to take the best pics on the slopes. That's cool. You don't even have to know how to ski to get these amazing photos for social media. All you need is a friend who can and a photographer with great timing.
That's about my skill set. It's just to stand there and almost stay upright.
I don't think I could even stand up. I was just falling. And learning how to ski can be hard. That's why you have to set everyone's expectations from the start.
I'm not like a zoom around or like you. I'm kind of like a kind of like lay around. I like to lay around the whole day.
5-year-old Emmy wanted her mom to know that she's not a zoomer around her. Over 50 million people have viewed this video, and all can relate to this little girl.
I'm a lay arounder too. I hear you, hun.
And then finally, a big ski jump. This guy's trying to catch Red Bull's attention, and millions of viewers have supported him.
Look at that air.
Horizon. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.